time to Kincade and Salciunas is on the air.
Today's talk show for your morning drive.
I'm not going to allow yesterday's game to totally change my judgment. I'll celebrate what they did. The Raiders stink.
I'm not putting up with any disclaimers. They went out, they did every freaking thing you could ever have wanted them to do.
Broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios. Here are your hosts, John Kincade.
Happy and, you name it. It's another Emotional Intelligence Thursday on Kincade and Salciunas, at least to start the show, because we're going to get to Andrew DeCecco, where it's Eagles robot.
Well, he's programmed.
Yeah, so there's no emotional intelligence for the final 2 hours of today's show when our man Andrew DeCecco joins us. But for the first 2 hours of the show,
There's intelligence.
yes, more.
But there's lack of emotion.
I would say more intelligence than
when
what
it comes
you normally
with,
get.
When
on
it
this
comes
show.
with DeCecco, the emotion is taken out of it. We'll have to fill the emotion quotient.
Yeah. So we'll start with the emotional intelligence Thursday this morning for the first 2 hours, because
Let's do it.
yesterday was a big day in the NFL in terms of a big news story when Mike McDaniel announced that Tua Tagovailoa was going to be benched for this upcoming weekend. I don't even know who the Dolphins play. Who gives a damn? The Dolphins are
They
done.
play
They
the
stink.
Cincinnati Bengals and mopey boy Joe Burrow, whose life is just crushed on him.
Well, so Tua is not going to be playing, and Tua Tagovailoa. It's amazing, right? The storyline that is Tua and Jalen. We all know what happened when Jalen gets benched in the national championship game, and Tua ends up winning it. We've talked about the storyline where Tua gets hurt in the SEC championship game. Jalen has to come
Saves the season.
Saves the season, wins them that game. Like, it's amazing how these two have kind of been intertwined, right? Like, their career paths, how we're going to talk about these two guys forever. It's very natural. And their careers have gone in two totally different directions, right? Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP. Tua is now benched by the team that drafted him.
Now, different circumstance.
Absolutely different circumstances. However, one quarterback has a quote-unquote offensive genius running the show in Mike McDaniel, and they did have comparable players around him. When we talked about wide receiver duos and how A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were one of, the top 5 duos, before Tyreek Hill's injury, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle were the other, duo that's in the top 5.
Not even a question.
So, their offenses are very similar in terms of the talent around them. Tua just had the quote-unquote offensive genius as a head coach, and we've seen how that's worked out with his tight capri pants. So today's
Connor likes them, so that's really
a good shot. Today's emotional intelligence Thursday question for you is, how do you balance appreciation and expectations? Because I just watched a quarterback that replaced Jalen Hurts in college get benched, who is also making $50 million a year, much like Jalen Hurts is.
Which, by the way, I remember you hated when he got paid.
Yeah, because I thought there was enough.
I think they blinked. They blinked big time. They didn't have to pay him when they paid him.
No, there's just a lot of fear in the NFL of, we can't lose this guy. And then I question, well, why can't you when you yourself are questioning whether or not this guy's good or not? But yeah, sure, go ahead, pay him $50 million. There's a lot of teams that do that. The 49ers with Brock Purdy. I'm not saying Brock Purdy stinks.
Well, Brock's been pretty good for that, Mike.
But you saw them winning with – I believe Shanahan can win with anybody, right? I didn't think that they needed to pay a guy where I think their head coach can win with pretty much any quarterback. You saw it with Mac Jones when Purdy was hurt this year.
Yeah,
he just wins. The Eagles are in a far better position where the Miami Dolphins are, right?
Much better.
As much as we complain about how this season has been for the Eagles are heading to the playoffs again. They're going to finally break the streak of back-to-back NFC East champion divisions, right? 21 years this streak went where we didn't see back-to-back winners in the NFC East. The Eagles will break that. Jalen Hurts, for all the criticism that he has gotten over the last couple of weeks, some of it deserving, some of it way over the top, compare Jalen Hurts to Tua. One guy's still playing and has actual trophies in his cases, whereas the other guy just got benched and you don't know the future of him and his team. So how do you balance appreciation and expectations? Because ultimately we're still talking about how this team should get to a certain mark in the playoffs. Whether you believe it or not, we're still holding them to that standard. So much so that it brings us down every once in a while emotionally. But, man, it's much better being an Eagles fan than a Dolphins fan this morning.
It is, but the big difference is that where people end up. I think that playing for Nick Sirianni over playing for Mike McDaniel is a completely different animal. Playing in the Eagles organization compared to playing with Miami, who will head coach, not even a young man for a head coach that I don't think is a leader of men. I think he's a brilliant maybe offensive mind, but he's not a guy who's going to lead guys. He's not a guy who's going to get guys to go behind him. Nick Sirianni does that incredibly well.
Yes, he does.
So to me, I think there's circumstance. The one word you used, which really sort of tweaks me a little bit, is that gets my interest, is appreciation. I don't feel the need. What's Jalen making? 40 million? Something like that?
He's
Something
close,
like that.
He's close to 50.
Whatever. Yeah. I don't need to worry about how much he's appreciated. How much we appreciate Jalen Hurts. You know when he's appreciated? You know when the Beasleys appreciate me?
Every other week.
Twice a month when the paycheck clears. I don't need somebody to come through and give me a John, by the way, we really appreciate you and everything. I guess I wasn't raised that way. It's not something that I look for, that I need. Everybody loves a little positive praise. I think today we get hung up on a lot of appreciation. Do the fans appreciate Jalen enough? Does this fan base? I think this fan base looks at Jalen Hurts and says, "You're the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles."
Right.
And if you're in my age group, you understand it's the toughest job in this city.
Yeah.
And when I hear people lament how Jalen Hurts he's very heavily criticized. Well, whoop-de-freaking do. He's got the hardest job in the city. And by the way, every single quarterback that went ahead of him has been the highly criticized person.
Absolutely.
When I was but when I was a little kid, Ron Jaworski got vilified in this town, took this team to a Super Bowl. And Ron Jaworski never had the offensive line that Jalen Hurts or even Donovan McNabb had or anything. He was tattooed constantly. I mean, Donovan McNabb was critiqued awfully.
Yeah, you would think
terribly.
he stinks sometimes.
Yes, Donovan McNabb was terribly. You and I both. We both have it. We a lot of times we don't have the same favorite player.
Big fan
Donovan
of 5.
McNabb to me, 5 is my all-time favorite Eagle. He just is. Because I felt wow, I had quarterback stability for the longest period of time in my career.
Sure.
Look, I love Jalen Hurts, and I love watching him play. But I feel it's so weird to me. The understanding is Jalen has, to me, there are high expectations. And by the way, the expectations on Jalen Hurts should be higher than any Eagle quarterback in the history of this franchise.
Right.
Because he's got more to deal with, more to play with, more to deal with, and more success to build upon than any quarterback that ever went ahead of him.
Now, this question doesn't have to be just about Jalen Hurts, right? It's the situation that we're in, right?
Can this go across all sports too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you saying?
Absolutely. How do you balance appreciation and expectations? Because let's face it, coming into the season, forget the roller coaster of a ride that we've been on this season with the Eagles. NFC Championship game or bust, Super Bowl or bust, get back to the Super Bowl. Whatever it was that you were saying back in April, back in May, back in June. The fact that we were able to watch the Eagles win a Super Bowl and feel comfortable to say, hey, I expect them to get back or at least get back to the Final Four, that's nice, right? When you take a step back, that's nice. We could be doing far worse things.
We've never lived this way.
Right. I imagine if we come in here and it's Cleveland Browns radio, right? We have to do the Shedeur Sanders talk every single day, whether or not he's the guy, right? That sounds horrible. That would be a miserable thing to do every single morning. And I get it. When you have high expectations, you're going to probably complain a little bit more because you're looking at everything that could potentially bring your team down, right? We're always looking for cracks in the armor as opposed to why they are here, why they have armor to begin with. Sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I feel a little guilty. I'm not going to lie. The Eagles are in a great position. They're 9-5. They're the defending Super Bowl champions.
And you feel guilty about what?
Just every day I got to complain because there's a lot to complain about.
Okay, but the thing is, though,
that's why this week's been nice.
The thing is, though, when you have high expectations, a lot's expected of you. That's what the word expectations mean. When you have all the assets in the world behind you, you're not expected to just putter through. You're not expected to just scrape through. you're expected to play to a certain level.
Sure.
When you have all of these, you talked about it with Tua, his offensive weapons. When you have all the offensive weaponry and all the investment on the side of the ball, the offense that Jalen Hurts has, you're supposed to perform at a high level.
I hear you.
And it comes with it. One thing I love about Jalen, I think Jalen embraces it.
Yes, he does.
Whereas I think we've got other athletes in this town that shirk away from the expectation.
Yeah,
I admire
there's some
that.
guys that don't like all that
admire
pressure.
it about Jalen Hurts. I think he puts it on like a coat of armor.
So this topic this is not a specific person. It's just how do you balance appreciation and expectations? Now you can funnel it to a specific person or a specific team. We have very high expectations for a couple teams in town. And, with it's like with great power comes great responsibility. With high expectations comes
You should write that down. That's very
comes high
profound.
criticism, right? So coming up next, can this topic also work with the Phillies? I'm telling you right now, it can.
Uh-huh.
They made a nice move yesterday. We'll tell you what, and then we'll expand the topic to them as well. It is Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The top. It takes. Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
How do you balance appreciation and expectations when it comes to sports, right? Whether it's the Eagles, who we appreciate winning a Super Bowl and always being a contender, but we also have expectations of them always being a contender, and when they don't look like one, we get very upset by it, right?
Yes.
When the Eagles go on a 3-game losing streak, we all get upset. Now, again, I always keep it the same way. I refuse to be like, oh, they won the Super Bowl, so it's all good. Like, I don't do that, all right? After 2017, I didn't do it, and I'm not doing it this year. That's why I get so upset when things don't look good, because I would like to continue the party and not have the party end or just always reminisce. Like, I want to actually continue the party moving forward. That's why I get so upset when they look like a team that might not continue the party. But ultimately, I still appreciate the fact that we're here. Like, it's a weird balance.
You're not, all right, look, as a fan and as someone who, if you're a season ticket holder or you're a ticket buyer or you're just doing our job is not to appreciate. Our job is to talk about each thing. Each season it's like its own movie.
Right.
There were, what do you watch? You were just saying you're watching The Sopranos.
Yes.
So Andrew's watching The Sopranos, and you're in season 2.
3.
Okay. You got a bad season or season and a half coming at you.
Okay.
Now, John Marks told me the other day, he goes, well, wait a minute. He goes, it's more of a setup for what's coming. Then
Sure.
it gets good again. But I'm telling you, you have a bad season and a half ahead of you.
All right. Looking forward to
So
it.
be ready for that. So, because I can tell you that, because you've got that, but the expectations are high. When you watch one of these shows, your expectations are high, and then you get a crappy season. But everyone's like, stick with it, because season 5 picks up again, and season 6 is great, but you have to sit through season 3 and season 4. This is part of the expectation. You're allowed to critique season 3 and season 4.
Right.
You're allowed to say they sucked. You're allowed to say
I'm
they were
not saying
terrible.
you can't. I just wondered, like, there are people, like, when we look, you see it when we do the
Right.
show. If there's a clip that gets posted where we're saying something negative, it's
Right.
oh, you guys, you're always so negative, and it's
Well,
like,
yeah, but no,
well-
are you saying something? The thing is, are you saying something that's absolutely false? Are you saying something you
No.
can't? Are you saying something you can't back up with facts?
No, but what I'm saying is there are people that would rather just say, hey, they're 9-5 and they won the Super Bowl last year.
Well, then that's great.
What is there to complain about?
Then that's great.
And so
then
they
that's
would.
perfect.
So if we're doing, the old the weight machine where it's
Right.
where it balances the
Scales?
Scale.
Yeah, the
Thank
sca-
you.
yeah, the
there
sca-
you go.
Good job, Connor. Glad to have you back.
One side would be toward the bottom, and it would be the appreciation side because they're just happy that they're here.
And you know what though? That's fine.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
They can live in that bubble, but
That's
it can't
not
live
my world.
But it can't live in our world. That can't be our life. That can't be the life of guys who cover the team who are in the media. That can't be the life of anybody. I mean,
Right.
and more importantly, the players, that's not the life they're living.
No, it's
I
not.
guarantee you they don't feel that way, and I know for a fact they don't feel that way.
Well, the Phillies get an appreciation for what they did yesterday by signing Brad Keller, who was a tremendous reliever last year for the Chicago Cubs. Career's been a little up and down. It's getting better as he's getting older.
Up and down, or
Yeah,
just
maybe I
one
should
up?
just say going up.
One up is the way I look at it.
Sure.
He had one up year,
Yeah.
and it was last year.
Last year. It was tremendous. It was a tremendous year.
Amazing year.
He was good back in 2020 during the COVID year.
That was like, what, 5 weeks of baseball?
And 2018, he was tremendous his rookie season when he had a 3.08 ERA in 41 appearances, right? So, that's good. That's good. Like
That's a long time.
So up and down. But last year was tremendous, and the Phillies were able to sign him to a 2-year deal. Hard-throwing righty. So here's what you got. Duran's going to be your 9th inning guy, as we all know. Brad Keller will be your 8th inning guy, depending on the matchup, or it's Jose Alvarado if he doesn't cheat and
If he doesn't
and
cheat
get
again,
kicked
yeah.
out again. He would be from the left side. Or you could have a guy, or you could have one of those guys pitch in the 7th inning. 7, 8, 9 is freaking nasty for the Phillies.
I'm telling you right now, when I saw the news yesterday, I heard the news yesterday, loved it. I obviously have a good Cubs source, and I immediately got the word that really, really good signing.
Yeah.
That he said, keep the ball in the park.
Which is
He'll
big
keep
in
the ball in the
Citizens Bank
park.
Park.
He's going to be, and it said, your 8th and 9th inning is going to be nasty. with the velocity.
Hell, if
with the things.
or you could say 7th, 8th, 9th.
Well, no, they love. I have a feeling that it's all going to be. There's going to be some times where Keller will pitch the 8th. There's going to be some times where Alvarado will be the 8th. Depending on the matchups and everything.
8, 9.
But it's going to be nasty. It's going to be. It's good. Hard throwers and everything. The thing is, I would say with Keller though is he is a guy who last year was the outlier year.
Yeah, and that's why he got the contract that he got, a 2-year deal.
And the Cubs, I don't think were willing to bet that is who he is. That at that kind of money, that was who he is. That last year was the outlier.
But if he is somewhat of last year, now all of a sudden you got 9 outs in your bullpen. That when everybody's feeling good and everybody's actually on the team and playing, you got 9 outs out of your bullpen, which makes your starters' lives a little bit easier. You just need them to get 5-6 innings, right? And then you put together a bullpen performance. I like the move a lot. Now, again, when you and I talked about it yesterday, I kind of laughed and said, yeah, they're going to win every ball game 1-0. Because
they're gonna. Well, I got to tell you though, when you're talking about let's just say if Wheeler comes back and is 85% of what Wheeler's been in the past, then I'm feeling a lot better about this team than I did the other day. But I'm not feeling a lot better about this team winning a World Series.
No, because the lineup is still very questionable.
But I'm feeling a lot better about this team than I was.
By the way, you were mentioned in a tweet yesterday, Connor.
Oh, what'd I do?
Somebody was upset that you weren't in yesterday because they wanted to hear you try to defend the Phillies.
On what?
When Dave Dombrowski said their outfield.
He can. No, he can. We got to give him the floor to do that.
We'll let Connor, Mr. Locked On Phillies podcast, react to
I can't wait to hear it either. I've actually got my popcorn ready.
And Dave Dombrowski telling you that the outfield's set. You know I was thrilled about that one, Connor. Coming up next, we'll check our text line also for the first time this morning. How do you balance appreciation and expectations? That and some bad news for the Flyers. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
I love the BetParks app. The BetParks Sportsbook and Casino app is so much fun. In fact, my wife's going to go up to the Parks Casino this afternoon. You know that if you have the BetParks Casino app right there in your hand, new users can get up to $1,000 in casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details for you. It's all about live betting on the BetParks app, though. I'm going to a comedy show tonight in Downingtown, but then I'm going to come home and I'm going to watch some football, because I'm going to want to see what goes on in that Rams-Seahawks game. You can live bet pro football. So even if I come in at halftime, I can then see where the game's at, see how I'm feeling about it, and I can place a live wager on the BetParks app. You'll absolutely love it. It's so much fun. And you can play blackjack, craps, roulette, and hundreds of online slots, too. Bet all your favorite sports, bet player performances, too. And with a 6.5-point spread, things are looking pretty good for the Birds on Saturday. But the individual player performances are maybe exactly where you're going to cash in. Got to be 21, Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Michigan. You're going to love the BetParks app. Should you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Keeping momentum going. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are just a couple of days away from their next matchup as they prepare to head to Washington on Sunday. And Jalen Hurts met with the media yesterday and talked about some changes made in the win over the Raiders and building on that momentum.
Just think you've seen us be better at complementing some of the things we've been doing for the run game and being able to establish the run game. Kind of some of those changes have been to try and get the run game going a bit, and a byproduct has been able to throw it the way we have.
It was the best game of the season by the Eagles offense on Sunday, so we'll see if the Commanders game shows even more improvement for that side of the ball. The injury report wasn't great for the Birds yesterday, though. Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and Fred Johnson were all out of practice. We'll keep an eye on their statuses as we approach Saturday. Phillies made a bullpen move yesterday, signing righty Brad Keller to a 2-year, $22 million deal. Keller pitched to a 2.07 ERA last year with the Cubs. The Flyers are back on the ice tonight in Buffalo against the Sabres. Puck drop for that game is at 7:30. You can hear it live here on The Fanatic. Unfortunately, got bad news on Tyson Forster yesterday. He'll be going through arm surgery, out for 5 months. Andrew DiCecco joins us from the 8 o'clock hour to the end of the show. This update is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Join Bill Colarulo this Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. at Gramps Pub in Philly for another Ultra Access event with Michelob Ultra. Enjoy $3 Ultra drafts, $5 Ultra Zero bottles, and your shot at Sixers Sweet tickets. Michelob Ultra. Please enjoy responsibly. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
It is 6:29 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5. The Fanatic 1 hour from now. Name that caroler. Day 4. Still only one person has gotten it wrong so far. And there was when they thought Connor was singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with DMX, but it was me who was talking it. So we have 2 more days of it. Today, 7:30, 8:30. Tomorrow, 7:30, 8:30. Your chance to win Sixers tickets, Flyers tickets, and the $100 gift card to the Harvest Seasonal Wine and Grill Bar. Sounds about right.
Guess what? It is. It's a great place. Everything I've heard about this place is great.
Yeah, $100. That's nice, man. That's a good day out.
That's a little Saturday afternoon fun.
Nice little date. All right, Connor. So yeah, you were requested. Somebody was upset that you weren't in.
I'm here.
Not because they were upset with Sean Rodman. They were upset that they didn't hear you try to defend the Phillies when Dave Dombrowski said that the outfield's pretty much set. So I'm curious. You could probably guess how I felt.
Oh yeah.
When Dombrowski talked about how the one of the worst slugging outfields will continue to be one of the worst slugging outfields in Major League Baseball this year.
Actually, it could get a little worse.
What did you make of Dave Dombrowski saying, "Nah, it was good"?
Let's start with the inconsistencies with what he said in the past. Because now all of a sudden, Justin Crawford's a center fielder after they've been telling us he's a corner outfielder. And now you're looking at that and it's like, where did that come from all of a sudden? We haven't heard anything that says they're out on Harrison Bader. Like, recent reports on that is that the Phillies are still very much interested in bringing him back.
They don't want to pay. I heard Jim Salisbury on his podcast, which is great, with Rube and,
really
and
good
Todd
stuff.
Zalecki.
Really good stuff.
3 years, $45 million.
And they're not going 3 years, supposedly.
I don't know who will.
Yeah, but they're not going 3 years, and supposedly there are teams that are willing to go 3 years, but not willing to go to $45 million.
Yeah.
But they're willing to go 3 years,
Sure.
and supposedly the Phillies are not going 3 years.
Yeah, the last thing I saw a week ago is that the market seems to be softening enough that some people don't think he's going to get 3 years. But the Bader stuff is not set in stone. It's not like if he was signed to another team, or if the Phillies had flat out said, like in the past, hey, we're not going to pay to have this guy back, I would believe Dave Dombrowski. But there's too many inconsistencies with what the Phillies' plans seem to be recently to what he said. So here's where I defend not what he's saying, but where the Phillies are at.
Okay, give it to me.
We believe way too much what I think we hear from executives in this town sometimes. And
But what about him?
Yeah, I
What
don't-
he says, he tends to exactly do.
He's also made it
He
very
doesn't-
clear
he
that
doesn't
wants
misdirect.
he wants to trade Nick Castellanos.
I mean,
that
he tells
hasn't really
that's
been
the
the
worst
best.
kept secret.
he tells you too much, and he tends to do exactly what he says.
Right.
He doesn't subterfuge anything.
Here's just where I'm at. The guy's telling you something totally different than what he told you a couple weeks ago or a month ago. I don't know what has changed. If this is the outfield, right? If it's Crawford in center, Adolis Garcia in right, and then Brandon Marsh and Otto Kemp in left, that's not a good enough outfield to
No,
win
it
the World
stinks.
Series.
It's
But-
one of the worst in baseball.
Babe Ruth, though. Otto Kemp. Babe Ruth.
Yeah, sure. But people get so upset with what is said rather than waiting to get upset at the actual actions. I'll be pissed if that is the outfield heading into opening day. We're going to have plenty of time. Trust me. Everyone who's mad now, we're going to have months and months and months of the season for you guys to call into Kincade Salciunas and complain about like Otto Kemp, Brandon Marsh, platoon left field until the offseason fully
Yeah, but here's
builds
the deal.
out.
Here's the deal. Our conversation today of how do you balance appreciation and expectations. You also have to balance like what you're reacting to what may happen. Here's the deal. I'm going to react to Dave Dombrowski saying that because I hope not that he's listening to Kincade. Maybe he is. I don't know.
I'm sure he
Dave
is.
Dombrowski's a big Kincade Salciunas fan.
You never know.
I would hope that he hears somebody complaining. Wait, you think this is the outfield? Because maybe he does actually think that. And maybe he then goes, maybe this isn't good
No,
enough.
it's these terrible big money contracts that are making him think this because he doesn't have the money to spend. He doesn't have the money to spend because of the fact that they've got all these big money contracts, and then they just went and signed another big money contract. They have to go pinch pennies at the other. What is what is it called? Bowl and branch? What is it called?
Bowl and basket.
Bowl and basket. They have to go bowl and basket. We have to go with a bowl and basket outfield because he's going brand names at other places, and we have a bowl and basket outfield.
See. Don't disrespect Bowl and Basket. I'm the Tampa Bay Rays. All right, like it's quality stuff. I'm just not paying much.
Well, I want Jif. I don't want bowl and basket. I want Jif.
I'm just saying,
Give me Jif.
my Bowl and Basket is still going to get me to
Not the World Series. Not the
Weren't the
World
Rays in the World Series like 2 or 3 years ago? Rays are in the World Series every other year.
COVID year.
Yeah, yes.
But to everyone asking for me to defend that, I'm not going to defend that outfield. The only thing I will say, and you're right, like reacting to it, you make a fair point as far as influencing the way teams are operating by reacting in the moment. I think that's fair. But for me, I'm going to wait to see how this plays out a little bit more because I don't believe what Dave Dombrowski's telling us.
I'm excited
very
for
fair.
you. I'm excited for you to get upset in April.
Connor,
Okay.
that's very fair.
I'm going to take him at his word.
Put it on the calendar.
But
I
the
will.
thing is that there's no reason not to believe Dave Dombrowski at his word because he never does subterfuge. He tells everybody last offseason, first of all, he trashes Nick Castellanos before last offseason and then can't move him. He tells the world that he's displeased, everyone in the world knows he's shopping Alec Bowman, that he can't move him.
We knew they were going to trade for Johan Duran like a month before it happened. It was just whether or not the Twins were actually going to do it.
I said it yesterday, Connor. The man is running this franchise on Facebook Marketplace. He is a boomer. He is literally like letting everyone know what he wants to do on Facebook Marketplace. He's making a post every morning telling us what he thinks. He does nothing in subterfuge. He's different than Howie Roseman. He's different than Danny Briere. He doesn't know. Even gosh, I mean, absolutely different than the way the Sixers go about their business. He doesn't have any idea about subterfuge.
Except for Daryl Morey signing Paul George. We all knew that was coming.
We tried talking him out of it.
Yes, we did. By the way, Tyson Forster got the news yesterday. He's officially done for the season. I know when the news first came out, you and I even talked about it on the air, like, all right, they're saying 2 to 3 months now. Is this going to be one of those Andrew Painter situations?
And it was.
Where Andrew Painter, we're going to evaluate him. Up, Tommy John, he's now done for a year.
Now, the thing is, though, they did wait for imaging and stuff like that to be. I guess they wait for swelling. Connor, you may have done more of this imaging stuff.
Swelling
and things like that. Yeah. So they waited, and they didn't wait a long time. I mean, they waited a couple weeks to really get the full thing and get enough doctors.
They didn't wait 2 months, which
is
good.
And they waited enough doctors' opinions. And this is best for Tyson Forster in the long term. It sucks for this year's team, but they got to go. They must fill his spot. They must. And I'm not talking about going and making some wild trade for some big star.
No.
But they need to find some veteran that could come in here and help this team because they're playing too well.
Yeah.
And you have to.
They deserve it. They've earned it.
Yes, they've earned the opportunity, especially if they play well through the new year, into the new year, this streak coming up, they were absolutely, Danny must do something to show this team, hey, we see how you're playing. We believe in you. Go get a low-price veteran on an expiring contract or something and bring somebody in who can help this team.
And if you don't, then you're telling the team how you feel.
Exactly. And that will cause the team to be wah.
Yeah, especially after the layoff with the with the
Olympic break and everything.
All right, coming up next. So we'll check our text line. My apologies.
Connor, you impress me. You impressed the hell out of me with that. That is very measured. That is very smart. That's the kind of interesting, smart conversation people come here for.
I'm disappointed by it.
I
didn't sign these guys.
Connor, you did a good job there.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm disappointed. by it.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm damn impressed with our man Connor Thomas.
Thank you. That appreciation goes a long way sometimes.
It wasn't you not ripping the team, but you also didn't rip the team. So
I'm impressed.
Because it's December. What is it? The 18th?
No, you don't go back into the kitchen and critique the chef before you got the plate put in front of you.
Exactly.
We have a little time,
ready.
but Connor was very smart there.
I'm disappointed in you liking it. Coming up next, we'll check our text line. Also, as we continue to figure out how we balance appreciation and expectations, one thing we should all appreciate is the defense. John Kincade has some incredible numbers for you, and one of which that is so bad that the offense better pony up for a big Christmas gift. It's Kincade and Salciunas 97.5, the Fanatic.
John Marks and Ray Dunn.
6:42 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor, hit us up with a couple of text messages. Our main topic today is how do you balance appreciation and expectations? The reason why we're talking about this is Tua Tagovailoa gets benched by the Dolphins yesterday, and it just kind of puts things into perspective. You know, the way that Tua and Jalen Hurts were intertwined their careers, how we would always talk about those two players because of what happened at college in Alabama. This isn't just a Jalen Hurts thing. It's just you sit back and you go, damn, it could be a lot worse. We could be Dolphins fans. Vic Fangio was literally complained about out of town down there, and he's now the defensive coordinator here, and he's the best, right? Like, think about that. He was with the Dolphins, and guys like Jalen Ramsey did not like the tough style of coaching. He comes here with the players that they have, all the Georgia Bulldogs, all the SEC guys, and it's a match made in heaven with Fangio and these players. And look at how good it's benefited the team. They're the reason why you're 9-5.
Absolutely.
What do we got on the text line?
Andrew from Pittman checks in, says there's a balance on how we view our teams, but there's also expectations every year that we just expect and want them to perform at their highest level. This year has been sloppy, to say the least, which makes it much harder to appreciate the team.
Go Tigers, by the way, Pittman Tigers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's the town next over to me. Not a bad text. What else we got?
We also have a check-in here on the Phillies where this texter, it's John Kruk. It's our guy checking in saying.
What's up, John?
John, J-A-W-N, not John from the broadcast. Says there were Brenton Doyle rumors around not too long ago, center fielder for the Rockies, 27 years old. The Phillies still seem to be interested in potential other players, so waiting to see if they change anything else.
Yeah, you can't, we got some good birthday dinners coming up. I said out at some really good restaurants. I don't go into the kitchen and watch the chef put together the meal till it comes to the table, and then I taste it, and they're usually awesome where we go. So I'm like, I'm going to give them the grace to wait to see what the final roster is.
Can I ask something?
But when I hear them speak,
Can I ask something?
yeah.
You've gone to this restaurant multiple times, and you've been left disappointed.
Oh, no, I understand. No, but that's why I say. That's why I question.
So maybe you do want to go into the kitchen and be like, yo, what the hell are you doing? This food sucks.
Well, that's why I question Connor on believing that he's not being told the truth by Dave Dombrowski, because Dave Dombrowski is if you're having a poker night, you want Dave Dombrowski coming over. He's the guy you want coming over. You would love to have him come on in. Because he telegraphs every single move. His tells would be so easy.
And I've been disappointed with all of his tells.
He'd get dealt
all his hands.
He'd get dealt the aces, and he'd be like,
I don't know. It's been rough.
He'd be like, "Oh boy." He doesn't hide anything.
Well, some yes, but no one had Adolis Garcia to the Phillies in any heavy capacity.
Because nobody wanted him in baseball.
Okay.
There was no market. Hey, I will tell you, was Morosi? Is it Morosi?
Yeah, John Morosi.
The market was lukewarm for him. So there was no market for the guy.
I didn't see Brad Keller jersey swaps before the move got made. That's
a
all.
nice move.
That's all I'm saying.
But we're talking about
It's a
the
nice
outfield.
move.
We're not talking about Brad
outfield.
Keller.
We're talking about
Okay,
this
well, I just said
outfield.
Adolis Garcia, and I got written off. My point is this. We don't see everything they're doing. So until you go into the season with a terrible outfield, I'm not going to call it a terrible
Am I not supposed to
outfield.
react to
No,
moves?
that's not what I'm saying. You asked for my opinion.
Because
This is where
here's the deal.
I'm at.
When the Garcia move happened, John called me. And he
Right.
goes, "Oh, what'd you make of this?" I go, "Oh, it's good. It's the replacement to Max Kepler and blah, blah, blah. Well, I wonder what's next." And then I have to go off of the word of Dave Dombrowski later that day saying, "No, this is it." And I go, "Oh, okay." So I'm going to watch the same outfield pretty much.
And one of the
Different
things is
names.
the MLB Network folks breaking it down. They say their panel show, they were like, everybody talks about, they said, from their era, they went, nobody discusses batting average as a spot. You're not allowed to talk about batting average anymore. But to say that Garcia is the same, gives you the same at-bats that Castellanos does is not fair, because Castellanos hits for like 27 points higher over a whole season. And that is an incredible gap.
That's a huge gap.
That's a huge gap.
Especially when
You have
Garcia
taken a step back in that regard.
strikes
You've
out
taken
more.
You've taken a step up in defense.
Is it a bigger gap than you have defensively in right field?
No, but the defense was not.
The defense is
Defense
a big
was
upgrade.
You cannot tell me that defense cost the Phillies games last year.
Yeah, not
Castellanos did not cost them games. That was not a reason the Phillies were losing any game.
All right, what are these defensive numbers you got for me as we balance appreciation and expectations? I have high expectations for the Eagles defense, and I appreciate that they are playing to those expectations, if not better.
Brendan Deeg is a very, very good follow on Twitter. You should always be following him. He does really, really nice work and has some good stuff there. You can find him with some really good stuff. D-E-E-G. The Eagles right now, first in completion percentage allowed. First, 13 passing touchdowns allowed. Second in the entire league.
It's pretty good.
75.6 passer rating allowed. Third in the entire league. 216 pressures, by the way. Fourth in the entire league. Those numbers jumping off the page at you. This defense, by the way, at the same point of last year, they actually are better in two of those categories. How about that? Like, this defense is overachieving. But then I have a troublesome number.
What do we got?
The fifth most defensive snaps among all teams.
Yeah.
And that is where this offense has really got to get on their horse in the last 3 games that they have to play. And that's why I think Week 18 almost needs to be a bye week.
Yeah, you need it.
Not only for the offense, the offensive line to heal up,
for the defense.
but for the defense.
I mean, Jordan Davis has played a career-high snaps already.
He's already 50.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis is already 50 snaps above his career high, and there are 3 games left.
Right.
Now, look, let's just say let's add another 120 snaps to that.
Sure.
I mean, the Eagles at 893 defensive snaps are 5th in all of football.
Yeah.
And by the way, they're amongst the crappiest teams in the league.
So when Jalen and Saquon got the offensive linemen, the golf carts,
ATVs,
the ATVs, they should just not do that for the offensive line this year. Not that they don't deserve presents. They can get something. Get them a trinket.
You know what? Get
the
them
defense. The defense deserves the gifts this year.
I think Wawa gift cards.
Yeah,
I think
those
a
are great.
Wawa gift
those
card
are great gifts.
would be fine, and I think Landon would like one.
But I think the
they'd
defense.
all
I
like
think the
one.
defense needs the ATVs
Yes,
this year.
do something for the defense because it's a disgrace. For the Eagles to be bottom 5 in the league as far as most defensive snaps, and their numbers are still this great.
Yeah.
Imagine if we get them a little rest heading into January.
That'd be nice. They need it.
Great.
By the way, that's how they're going to win football games. Coming up next, we check more of our text messages, but also, due to technical difficulties yesterday, we have holiday questions that everyone can be involved with. We'll explain more next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
You know, someone in your community needs a second chance. They need a way forward after addiction has taken them down a path that has led their lives in a dark way. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to look around your property. You have a car, a truck, a boat, a motorcycle, or an RV that maybe you're not using anymore or has outlived its useful life, and you just want it taken away. Well, the Salvation Army is there to help because the Salvation Army wants to use that vehicle that you're not using to help somebody else find stability, discover hope again, and rebuild their life. Because the Salvation Army has been specializing in this for nearly 150 years. Your kindness continues to make that possible. All donations are easy. You call 800-SA-TRUCK, Salvation Army, or you go to satruck.org and you schedule a pickup. They're going to come right to your home. They're going to tow the vehicle at no charge, and they're going to give you an IRS-approved receipt. That used vehicle that you've got on your property could end up being the turning point for somebody else's life. You don't need the motorcycle, the car, the truck, the boat, or the RV anymore, and it's broken down and you're not using it. So part with it. Donate it today to the Salvation Army. Call 800-SA-TRUCK or visit satruck.org. You're going to help the Salvation Army in this season of giving continue to do the most good.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Birds building on the win. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are just a couple of days away from their next matchup as they prepare to head to Washington to face the Commanders this Saturday. Kevin Patullo met with media yesterday, and he talked about building on the momentum of the win over the Raiders.
We got to keep pushing through and building on what we've done throughout these previous weeks. So if you can continue to grow throughout the end of the year, who knows what can happen. So that's where we're at right now, and we just got to keep pushing the envelope to see what we continue to improve on and see where this thing goes.
It was a step in the right direction last Sunday. We'll see if the Commanders game shows even more improvement for the offense. The injury report was not an improvement yesterday. Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and Fred Johnson all out of practice. That's 3 offensive linemen right there for you. We'll keep an eye on their status as we approach Saturday. Phillies made a bullpen move yesterday, signing righty Brad Keller to a 2-year, $22 million deal. Keller pitched to a 2.07 ERA last year with the Cubs. Flyers are back on the ice tonight in Buffalo against the Sabres. Puck drops at 7:30. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Unfortunately, bad news on Tyson Forster, who received arm surgery, will be out 5 months. Andrew DeCecco joins us from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show. This update is brought to you by Super Short. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super short. Not kind of short, not pretty short, but super short. Coming soon. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It's 6:56 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Johnny the K was admiring my sweater during the commercial break.
Great sweatshirt.
Every day I'm trying to be a little bit more and more festive as we get closer to the big day. 1 week from Christmas Day, 6 days from Christmas Eve, I'm wearing a Son of a Nutcracker shirt.
That is great.
With Elf. Mopar was wondering why it's so baggy. I don't know, dude. I just picked something off the rack. I don't try things on at the store. I saw something.
I'm not a try on at the store.
I grabbed
person
it. It's my size. By the way, sweaters are normally baggier, aren't they? Aren't sweatshirts and sweat? And by the way, I'm not trying to walk around like Connor. Like,
a sweatshirt is you don't want to. Sweaters should not be baggy. A sweater, not like this, but a sweatshirt is supposed to be a little roomy.
But I got the
right.
It's got Will Ferrell's face on it.
That is festive. Great colors.
By the way, I got it on. Black Friday's now 7 days. So I got it that weekend.
Okay.
$10.
That's a good deal.
Whoa, where'd you get it for $10?
Target, man.
Are you kidding
I
me?
live there, dude. I'm there. I'm there every other day.
That's fantastic.
$10 for this sweatshirt. It was just a
By the way, I was on
deal.
I went to the Columbus Avenue wall. I love Target and Walmart.
Okay.
First time ever in the Columbus Avenue Walmart yesterday. Holy gosh. That was an experience.
That's good.
That was like there were so many people in that Walmart. It was unbelievable.
Well,
every row was packed.
Yeah,
Every row was packed, and there were incredible, helpful associates to help you everywhere.
That's beautiful.
Like Walmart, whoever runs the Walmart on Columbus Avenue, you have helpful people waiting everywhere. Like I saw people that were actually like waiting to help and offer customer service. Bravo to the Columbus Avenue Walmart. You guys were awesome.
Shout out to them.
Fantastic.
Shout out to them. All right.
I love Walmart.
Connor, what do we got on the text line? Give us a couple text messages, and then we got to explain something that we're going to be doing throughout the course of the show today due to technical difficulties from yesterday. What do we got?
All right, so we have a check-in here from Joe from Media who wants to talk a little bit about the defense with Nick Castellanos. So Joe says, I agree 100% the Casty's defense did not cost us any games. With that in mind, why is it that he must go, especially if the heir apparent is a player who is close to 30 points less? Was it just the attitude or culture?
That's exactly what it is. People's feelings got hurt. Like, that's exactly what it is. Has Nick Castellanos, and this is coming from one of the last defenders in the city. You
have two of them.
Your brothers in arms here.
You have two of them.
Has Nick Castellanos lived up to the contract? No. He has not lived up to the contract.
No, absolutely not.
Has Nick Castellanos been the reason why you have lost in the playoffs?
Absolutely
no,
not.
He is not.
He's been one of your top 3 or 4 every year.
Yeah. And the hatred that he has gotten, maybe because of attitude, the too cool for school. I get it. Sometimes he puts that on himself. He does. I understand that. But it's like the Darius Slay thing for me. I understand why you might be upset, but like the vitriol that those two guys got when Darius Slay was a staple as your corner for, 5 years? Like, he did not ever have a bad season. And Nick Castellanos would have played every single day if Rob Thompson allowed it.
Right.
And he's out there every single day, which I thought this was a grab your lunch pail city. Is it not? Like,
no, it's supposed to be.
Don't we support that? Like, he's out there every single day.
No, he's supposed to be.
And he played every single day. He was never the reason why you lost in the playoffs. He was one of your more consistent players in the playoffs. Did he live up to the contract? No. But is he a reason why we have talked about the failures that we've talked about the last years? No.
Can I tell you that yesterday I had a chance to have a conversation with somebody that I know knows more about the Phillies than I do. And that person, I asked about Castellanos leaving and said, if it was put to a vote of players, it would be tight.
Sure.
Whether he should go or whether he should stay. It would be a very tight vote. But I think the people who get to make the vote, the people who get to make the decision, Rob Thompson, General Manager Bryce Harper, they were the people who were like, get him out of here. And they wanted him gone. But the players themselves, he had a lot of support.
Look, do I think that the season thrives or not because of Nick Castellanos? I don't. So
no.
So all right, if it leads to a happier work environment for some, all right.
Yeah, for some.
But I just don't get. I never understood the total dislike for him. Once more, he has not lived up to the contract.
No, he hasn't.
But he has not been the reason why these early exits have been a factor. He has not been the reason.
No.
And that's what confuses me. All right, you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WP, and HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, 8 Beasley, Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Hit us up with one more text, Connor, and then I'll promote Name That Caroler and the other fun holiday stuff we'll do today. What we got?
Joe from Boston checks in, says the Phillies still need a right-handed dominant bat either at third base or left field for me to feel comfortable about this season.
Right, and you're not getting it in the outfield, I don't think. Third base is still up in the air, but that's the one thing that I'm waiting on. So the other day when Dave Dombrowski said that the outfield's set, somebody said then there must somebody responded. I think it was my man West Virginia Rick was like, that means they have to make a move at third base, right? I go, maybe. But who's taking Bohm? I don't see like people racing to the Phillies to knock on the door for Alec Bohm. And two, if you do trade Alec Boehm, then who? Like, is it Bregman that you're all of a sudden paying a bunch of money for? And it's
You're going to do another big money like Albatross
right?
contract?
Like, I don't know. And so you move on from Boehm. What? Edmundo Sosa until you maybe trade for somebody? Otto Kemp until you maybe trade for somebody? And if that's the case, you're still complaining about the lack of pop. Like, it's still not there.
I'm floored. I'm floored with the whole plan. I just laugh at when I read some of the stuff. And I love reading all the Phillies blog sites, the Flyers blog sites and everything. I really do. I enjoy some different perspective because I think there's a lot of people who are fans of teams who write about the teams who come up with some really interesting stuff. But the discussions of like, well, you could trade Boehm and you could package up Boehm and Marsh and get something. No, you can't. What do you think you're going to get?
I don't think there's some big.
You're not getting. What
unless
do you think
you're
getting?
Unless you're trading away prospects as well, and
you're not.
And maybe that's what they do.
No, but they don't want to. They don't want to trade the prospects, and I sort of applaud that in a way. But look, it's bad.
All right, coming up at 7:30, we're getting closer to it. Day 4 of Name That Caroler. It's been a lot of fun this week, where we have heard different members of the Fanatic sing Christmas songs. And you have to tell us who it is, and if you get it right, you win one of our incredible prizes. At 7:30 today will be the pair of tickets for the lower-level Sixers seats against the Wizards January 7th. And, again, you'll be in the running for the gift card as well. But yesterday we did post-show headlines, which we do every single day. So check it out, post-show headlines, Kincade Salciunas. Just search for it on YouTube, and you'll find it. And we do it every single day. Unfortunately, we had technical difficulties yesterday, and we did not realize it until after we had talked for about 15 more minutes.
Yeah, we messed up on Dutsy's. We were using Dutsy's phone.
Dutz's, and unfortunately, Dylan was in a meeting, so we did not have anybody seeing if the video was actually recording. And I just couldn't do it again. It was like, I'm not, I can't do 15 more minutes with John Kincade. Like, it's enough.
Can't do it.
I spent enough.
Listen to you.
And then I ended up having a beer with him afterward anyway.
Listen to you.
I take one day off. You guys can't hit record on a phone?
I did hit record, then it closed.
No,
I don't know
closed.
how.
Yeah.
And it was Dutsy's like phone that I think they used to have it at Hustler. I mean, it's a big phone, real big. They did videos on this thing.
He loved that joke.
It is bad.
So we did holiday questions that were sent in by the listeners, and unfortunately, they were not posted. So we figured, why not do it on the air today?
And Connor, you can get in a couple of these here. Did you ever get a terrible gift that you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever give a terrible gift?
Give.
A terrible gift that you remember, and to who? We'll get through these ones sort of quickly. Tomas on X asked that one.
Well, no, we'll spread them out. We don't have to get through all
That's
5
one of them.
in 2 minutes. Go ahead. Go ahead, Connor. What was the terrible gift that you gave?
I can't really think of one that I gave because I go pretty easy. I'm more of like a gift cards, cash, something that you directly ask for, guy. We did have the wallet debacle. I think I've talked about this before.
I remember the wallet, yeah.
Which is what?
So my brother and I both needed new wallets. So I got him a wallet, and my mom got him a wallet. And then he got me a wallet, and then my mom got me a wallet. So we ended up with 4 wallets for 2 guys.
Yeah, that's
just
a problem.
lack of communication.
You don't need that.
So
it's not like a watch where you can bring different wallets with different
this is
outfits.
my fancy wallet.
Yeah.
So
was there anything worse than my answer?
No, you had the worst. You had the worst answer. So go ahead, tell the people.
Okay, thanks. So at Thanksgiving, I guess I hadn't listened to a story. In a loud gathering, I hadn't listened to a story. And so I got a monogrammed dog collar with a little monogram leash that came with it. With the
Oh,
dog,
no.
Yeah. The dog had died. The person's dog had died in early November.
Brother, how do you mess that up?
I did not.
That's an
I did not
all-time-
see.
that's an all-time
I was
screw-up,
living.
man.
I was living in Atlanta. So I did not. I wasn't around the person to know that the dog had died. I hadn't been at their home, and the story had been told in mixed company, and I did not hear it.
Is this a pre-social media days?
Yes.
All right,
This is
so
like
there
it
was
wasn't-
no-
yeah.
okay.
And my mom punched me at least 4 times. How did you not know? Oh my God! Because it made the person cry. It like and then it like made other people got all choked up. And my mom's like, "How did you not know?"
Yeah, that's an all-time.
And that was
that's
bad.
An all-time.
That was bad.
That's-
Yeah, the monogram with the dog's name.
Maybe if you didn't buy your presents 20 months in advance,
Well, no,
we wouldn't have this problem.
Connor, Point taken.
Yeah, that's actually
Point taken.
that's
But
a
I
good
did
point,
not
Connor.
know. And I'm thinking, and she opened it, and all of a sudden the tears just flew, and I'm like, oh, God, I made a great gift.
All right, worst gift that you gave. We could also say that you received. Worst gift that you gave or you received.
In that light, though, something really bad.
Yeah, you can text us in. You too. Want to hear from you as well. Text in 610-632-0975. We have a bunch of these because we didn't get to them, and we don't want to waste
Right.
them. Like, we appreciate everybody that sends in the questions for post-show headlines, and then there's technical difficulties. So shout out to Tomas for that question. You can answer as well, 610-632-0975. Now, coming up next, two winter teams that seem to be heading in totally different directions, the Sixers and Flyers. It's amazing how reactions to news and articles can be so different. I'll explain more coming up next. It is Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about your house. Have you noticed a spring in your step when walking through your house? I'm not talking about the festive spirit that you have, whether you're celebrating Hanukkah or getting prepared for Christmas Day. No, I'm talking about your floors actually being bouncy and uneven. If that's the case, it's time for you to call Groundworks, the crawl space experts. Their experts know that bouncy floors could be caused by inadequate support from floor joists and underlying structures, which can lead to serious structural issues if left unaddressed. Imagine you're opening up Christmas presents. It's Christmas morning, and then your floor starts collapsing. You don't want that. All right, so try to take care of this sooner rather than later. When Groundworks crawl space repair experts come out, they'll explain exactly what's happening. They'll identify a permanent crawl space solution for your house, and they'll provide you a no-pressure quote. They do all of that for free. It's just the job itself that you pay for. So if you're ready to fix your sagging or bouncing floors, visit groundworks.com for a free inspection now. Groundworks, they're the reason why they're the trusted local experts.
7 a.m. hour is brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It is 7:12 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5. The Fanatic Name That Caroler comes your way at 7:30, day 4 of it. It's been a lot of fun. I have an idea.
People really like it.
I have an idea of our carolers today. Usually I don't. I'm very excited for them, is all I'll say. I'm very excited for both 7:30 and 8:30 today. I don't know how they sound. I just have an idea of who they are. But I can't wait.
I
can only expect greatness.
I do not want to hear them until they go. So.
Oh, yeah, I haven't heard them. This will be the first time I hear them.
And I don't want to. So that's going to be great.
I expect greatness. All right, so the Sixers and Flyers are heading in two totally different directions right now, right? Like the Flyers are on the rise, and they're playing exceptional hockey. The Sixers, we know, have unfortunately been on the decline because of injuries and age and questions of the future. You have some pieces that you're excited about, like a Tyrese Maxey. Well, that's more than a piece. That's an all-star. You have some things that you are excited about, but we also know that they're kind of strapped with some of the other big contract players. Now, Embiid and Paul George have actually played very well in recent games, but we're all going to wait for the same thing.
Right.
How long does this continue until one of them unfortunately gets hurt? Because that's just the way that it is with their careers. So when the Forster news comes out that he is done for the season, you send me the email and you say, man, they have to make a move to not totally replace him, but to try to get something to help keep them above water, because they're well above water right now.
There is something there. There's a big difference, because I am not about them getting rid of a bunch of draft capital to go try to swing some major move.
Right.
Like there were a bunch of people trying to get the Flyers to go make a big trade to try to swing some major trade. That's not where they're at in the rebuild right now. It's not where they're at.
Right.
But with this team sitting at 40 points on December 16th, they are at the point where you need to tell that locker room, we're going to replace some of his offensive production. We're going to give Rick Tocchet, they deserve something. When you get points in 9 out of 11 games, when you are sitting there in playoff position again, we're going to get to Christmas, and this team looks like they're going to be in playoff position. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
In a year that they're not expected to be there. You need to show the locker room, we're doing something for you. And I'm not talking about a major expenditure. I'm talking about a player who might even be done after this year. Somebody who's just in for the year.
Sure.
That can come in here and can give them some offensive support, because Tyson Forrester is a big loss.
Right.
And I fully expect at some point we're going to see the Forrester absence is going to cost them.
Yeah, I mean, they only didn't get a point in one game since his absence, which is amazing. That's a credit to Rick Tocchet and a credit to every player on the ice. So that's your reaction, right?
That's my reaction.
I saw an article from Bobby Marks, who does a great job at ESPN.
Sure.
You know, he's like their NBA executive.
Well, he's a former
right?
executive and everything.
And he did a big article a couple of days ago, but I just saw it this morning, of every team's mindset in the NBA before the trade deadline, right?
Okay.
Like what? And look, there's still going to be some things that shake out. Players could get hurt. Teams could get really good. Teams could get the bottom could fall out on them. But of course, I was going to see what he wrote about the Sixers. And he said this for the front office focus. With Joel Embiid and Paul George's injury histories, does holding on to Kelly Oubre Jr. and Andre Drummond become a priority? Though trading the soon-to-be free agents would put Philadelphia below the luxury tax, it would reduce the options for coach Nick Nurse if Embiid or George suffers a setback this season. Before injuring his knee, Oubre was averaging 16.8 points and shooting a career-high 49.7% from the field. Despite playing just 21.4 minutes per game, Drummond is averaging 9.4 rebounds. And then he does all like the movable assets, right? So when I read that, it's a shame that my reaction is, bro, I can't rely on Paul George and Joel Embiid, nor care about Paul George and Joel Embiid. Like, if a team offers anything
for those guys,
Kelly Oubre and Andre Drummond, I can't be thinking, yeah, but what if Embiid gets hurt?
Correct.
If Embiid gets hurt, they're not winning a damn thing.
Correct.
If Paul George gets hurt, Kelly Oubre's not winning them the championship, right? Like, a team of Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Andre Drummond's not winning. A team of Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Kelly Oubre is not winning anything. We already know that. We've seen it. So when I read that article, I'm like, yeah, but I can't base my life off of those two guys anymore.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Proud of me?
I'm like really proud of you. I'm really proud of you.
It's wild.
I want anybody who wants them at the trade deadline, take them.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants them, take them.
Like if I could get something for Andre Drummond or Kelly Oubre, you got to do it.
Now, I'd like to get to the bottom of the bike accident thing, but before he leaves town, like maybe we can get there at some point. Maybe we can get there before he leaves town. I'd like to solve that crime.
But the Flyers and Sixers are heading in two totally different directions right now. So when you have that reaction, I think that is a very spot-on, fair reaction to have. Like, look, this team is doing too much to not try to replace as much as you can with Tyson Forrester. If Daryl Morey gets a phone call about Kelly Oubre Jr. or Andre Drummond, you got to do it.
You got to go.
I don't care if it's a second-round pick. You got to go. They're not going to win. Like, they're not going to win.
It's done.
Your thoughts, Connor?
Dude, I'm proud of you.
I can't agree with you more. I mean, those two are not the difference between where this team could go and where they can't go. And I like the season that both of them have had. Kelly Oubre cut down more because of injury. But we got to be realistic about where they're at. Like, if you're not going to go all in to try and win, which they shouldn't, then everyone's available who is not a lockdown, like, nailed to the floorboards piece.
Yeah, here's what you do. You continue to accumulate assets, whether it's second-round picks, late first-round picks. I can't imagine that a Kelly Oubre or Andre Drummond's getting a first-round pick.
No, it's not.
But you know how much second-round picks are moved in the NBA these days, which is crazy to me. You have the 2028 Clippers pick, which is extremely valuable. And I'm not saying to use it this year. I'm saying down the road. Right, you also have the 2029 with the Clippers, and depending on protections and all that.
I don't think you're touching that. You're not touching that Clippers pick for nothing.
You probably
you're not moving that pick
unless you can get a star player during an off season, right? And that means one of the other two guys are gone, and Embiid or Paul George. But when I read that article, I'm like, I can't hold on to role players. If I can get anything for some of these guys, you just got to do it.
You have to, dude. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Like, honestly, Connor, I mean, I was proud of you earlier. I'm proud of Andrew now. I mean, this is a great day.
It's just it's a tale of two teams right now. The Flyers, you go, let's buy, and Sixers, I'm not going to.
And you're not talking about. Look, I'm shopping at the Columbus Walmart for the Flyers. I'm not shopping at Nordstrom. I'm getting something that helps the team, but I'm not spending a ton.
These Nordstrom's.
What? Nordstrom's great.
Why do I need to pay a lot of money for clothes?
Nordstrom's good quality.
It's a wonderful life question there, Andrew.
So is my $10 Target sweater that I'm wearing right now.
That'll will last one or two washes.
I've already washed it once.
Yeah, guess what? It's got maybe like one more. One more.
I'm going to wear this every day.
Oh, don't do that, because then I'm going to complain because I can't wear my Phillies shirt, even though it saved the season.
Well, coming up next, Name That Caroler Day 4. Who do we got next? That comes your way at 7:30. Also, we have a monster game tonight in the NFL that we should all keep a very close eye on. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
You know, the holidays are here, and Wawa has got you covered with gift cards for everybody on your list. Now, the Wawa fan in your life would love a Wawa gift card. I think a Wawa gift card in everybody's stocking is an absolute must. But how about picking up gift cards for Visa, Amazon, Sephora, Roblox, and other big brands? You can get them, too, at your Wawa. Right there as you're checking out, right there near the checkout counters, they've got a big display with all kinds of major brands available, and it makes it easy. Let's say you've got a Wawa fan who's not in your area. You could send them a digital gift card, near or far. Visit Wawa.com, see all the choices. You pick the perfect festive design, you enter an amount, you write a message, you hit send, and your gift card will be on the way, and it's going to make somebody's holiday really, really bright. It's holiday shopping made simple and easy, and it's all from Wawa. And look, I know you're going to be in Wawa this morning. You're pulling in to get your coffee, or maybe at lunchtime. You're going to go in and you're going to grab something to eat. Your one-stop gift card shop is going to be the one stop you're making today anyway. So what else would you expect? Wawa making your life easier? Well, sort of goes hand in hand. Hey, it's the one-stop shop for you, so see the store for details. You gotta have a Wawa.
Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Hurts talks changes. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are just a couple of days away from their next matchup as they prepare to head to Washington on Saturday to take on the Commanders. And Jalen Hurts met with the media yesterday, and he talked about some changes the Eagles have made recently to help improve the run offense.
Just think you've seen us be better at complementing some of the things we've been doing for the run game and being able to establish the run game. Kind of some of those changes have been to try and get the run game going a bit, and a byproduct has been able to throw it the way we have.
Now, this matchup with the Commanders, another opportunity to potentially get after a lesser team. So we'll see if we see even more improvement from the offense. The injury report was not an improvement yesterday. Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and Fred Johnson all out of practice. We'll keep an eye on them as we approach Saturday. Phillies made a bullpen move yesterday, signing righty Brad Keller to a 2-year, $22 million deal. Keller pitched to a 2.07 ERA last year with the Chicago Cubs. Flyers are back on the ice tonight in Buffalo against the Sabres. Puck drops at 7:30. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Unfortunately for the Flyers, Tyson Forster underwent arm surgery. He's going to be out 5 months. His season's likely over. Andrew DeCecco will join us from the 8 o'clock hour to the end of the show. This update is brought to you by Super Short. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super short. Not kind of short, not pretty short, but super short. Coming soon. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The Unfiltered High School Athlete of the Week is a chance to celebrate some of the amazing talent in our area.
Ricky Bowe and Bill Colarulo will announce an athlete and their high school each week, live on the radio and TV.
Go to 97.5thefanatic.com.
Fanatic.com.
It is 7:27 here on Kincade and Salciunas 97.5. The Fanatic. Name That Caroler. Day 4, part 1 comes your way in a few minutes. I've been told that there is a chance that they will all be put together soon.
Oh, that's fun.
Once the week is over.
Like one little
a
blurb
little montage.
Good.
And maybe a produced like the old Christmas Carol, or like the old album commercials.
Oh, I love those.
So I've been told.
Like Ronco? You don't remember Ronco.
I don't.
Never even heard
Ronco
of
was your
that.
parents would know Ronco. Ronco used to be what we would have is there'd be these collections of stars would actually put all their hot songs
Sure.
on one album. And it used to be Ronco that you'd get them
Excuse
from.
me. That's what I call music.
Yeah.
Let's have
Yes.
some respect.
There we go. I got to just tell you is that there was a departure from baseball last night. Did you see it? Chas McCormick from Westchester Henderson High School and the Houston Astros, local young man here, announced that he's leaving the Astros. He gave the goodbye message to the Astro fan base last night, and it went sort of very prolific on social media. 3 trips to the postseason, 3 ALCS,
remember
and everything.
the great catch he had on
Yeah.
Real Muto at the wall.
I
man.
didn't like that catch.
Did you know that much like we have the dagger, did you know that in Houston that play has a name? I never knew it.
No, I didn't know that. Look, it was a great play. It
But
sucked for us.
Do you know, since it won a championship for them, and it was a big part of it, that play in Houston has a name.
What is it? The Chaz?
The bank robbery.
Oh, that's a good name. It sucks, but that's a good name.
And it says,
Can we
will
move
always,
on?
That's
and
a
it
tip,
said,
that's a tip of the
we
cap.
will always,
Move on.
we will always remember you for the bank robbery.
That's a tip of the cap. I'm sorry.
That's a great name.
Like I can look. I love the Phillies and Eagles and Sixers and Flyers. I can always tip caps to stuff
That's
like
a great.
that.
That's a great.
Like
name.
I'll be honest. Like everybody made fun of it because it was the Mets. Edwin Diaz, that walkout, like it was freaking awesome. Like the first year of it, the Timmy Trumpets, it was actually pretty sweet. And now we have a better one with Duran here. But I always appreciate that kind of stuff. The bank robbery is a hell of a name. It sucks.
Nah, kick rocks.
All right.
Houston.
Before we do
cheated.
Name That Caroler, tonight, big game, Rams Seahawks. Now, what you've been saying for the last couple of days, after today, you would imagine the Eagles would be the second best odds to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they will be. Tomorrow morning, we're going to commit, and the Eagles will have the second best odds in the NFC to win the Super Bowl. They will be the second best odds to be the NFC champion.
Would that still be the case if the Seahawks win tonight? Because Rams won the first matchup, right?
Yeah, but the Rams will be whoever's the 5 seed is not going to have better odds, I don't believe, than the
Okay.
Eagles. I don't believe they will because they will now be they're going to drop down. Plus, there'll be another loss.
Well,
So if the Rams, it's going to be the bad one tonight.
hang on. The 1 seed won't be locked in though. Like the
No, it won't
NFC
be
West
no,
won't be
they're going to
won.
wake up tomorrow the 1 seed. So it'll either be the Rams will be the 1 seed or the Seahawks will be the 1 seed tomorrow morning, whichever one of them wins tonight.
Okay, that's like 100% mathematically locked that they win the division.
No.
Then the Seahawks or Rams will still have
they'll
better
probably
odds than
still
the
be
Eagles.
ahead of the Eagles.
I don't believe that'll be the case. I don't think it'll be. We'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see if they still stick there.
Look, how about this? If the Rams win, so if you're looking at, I have the odds in front of me. If the Rams win, the Rams are the favorites to win the Super Bowl at plus 370.
And if they sweep the Seahawks, if they win both games, I do not believe the Seahawks will have pretty much will have no chance to win the division because the Rams will have both wins.
Right.
I do not believe the Seahawks odds because then they will be saying the Seahawks will not have a chance to play a home game, which will severely affect their chances to be in the Super Bowl odds to have the same odds. If the Seahawks win, things could be that has the potential to be different.
The Seahawks, so if the Rams were to win tonight, the Seahawks odds are at plus 700. The Eagles are at plus 900. So
They
if the
will be
Rams
behind
win tonight, then the Eagles will most likely jump them in odds.
Absolutely.
If the Seahawks win tonight, I don't think they're going to swing
What
the
are the Rams at now?
Plus 370. I don't think
Yeah,
they'll swing
Rams-
the
you
Rams
could be
to
right on that one.
plus 1,000.
Yeah, you could be right on that one.
Rams win tonight, maybe the Eagles have the second best
Who
odds.
do you think
Seahawks
tonight?
win tonight, then I would imagine the Eagles are still third.
Who do you think tonight? The big money, I'm in a large money, one of those confidence pools where all I got to do is just pick the winner and then put confidence on it. I have picked the Seahawks.
I do not agree.
I'm going to go with the Rams.
Sam Darnold in a big game.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
So you both, okay.
I'm going to
Okay.
go with the Rams.
You're going to both go with the Rams on a short week traveling.
Yes. Well,
That's
they're not traveling far.
No, but it is. It's a short week. It's a short week
They did
traveling.
have a
It's
major
big game.
plane delay yesterday.
They
apparently,
did, that's
trying to get
right,
into
you're right.
Seattle.
Did you see that?
Seahawks,
Yeah.
by the way, favorites tonight, minus 1.5.
Yeah, which is nothing.
Give me the Rams.
which is
Outright.
nothing.
All right. Connor, it is time now for Name That Caroler, day 4 of it. Part 1 today. The winner will get the Sixers tickets. I'll tell you what that is after we hear it. Again, 30-second clip. Caller 5 after the song is completed. All right? Let the person, or in this case, people, have the shine.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I've gotta go.
Baby, it's
away.
cold outside.
This evening has
Hoping
been
you drop in.
so very nice.
I'll hold your hands, they're just like ice.
My mother will start to
Beautiful,
worry.
what's your hurry?
My father will be pacing the floor.
Listen to that fireplace roar.
So really, I'd better
Beautiful,
scurry.
please don't hurry.
Well, maybe just a half a
Put some
drink
records
more.
on while I pour.
The neighbors might think.
Baby, it's bad out there.
Say, what's
No
in
cabs
this
to be
drink?
had out there.
I wish I knew how.
Your eyes are like starlight
to
now.
break this spell.
I'll take your hat, your hair looks swell.
All right.
I'm telling you, John. I can tell you this: is
Credit.
that we heard me yesterday, we heard Ray yesterday, we heard we have some talented people in this building. I don't know who it is. But
So here's what we need. We need you to tell us both. All right? You need to tell us both carolers. YouTube, I can already tell, is confused.
it's very confusing.
We know the voices because we speak to these people often. This one's a tough one. So
I think it's very tough because
So caller 5,
Yeah.
610-632-0975. Fifth caller. If they get it wrong.
both voices must be identified.
Yes. If they get it wrong, we move on to the next caller. The winner will get a pair of lower-level tickets to the Sixers-Wizards game Wednesday, January 7th at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Don't miss out on seeing your favorite 76ers players or any of the can't-miss action this season. To purchase tickets to an upcoming home game, including the return of the iconic black uniform games, visit Ticketmaster.com/76ers. The winner will also be in the running for the $100 Harvest Seasonal Grill and Wine Bar gift card. Give the gift of healthy indulgence with a Harvest Seasonal Grill and Wine Bar gift card. For everyone on your list, purchase them online at harvestseasonal.com or pick up in person at any of their 8 convenient locations in PA and New Jersey. So let's go to caller number. Where am I going here, Connor? I need some help here. All right, I'm going to go to caller number 5. Caller number 5, what's your name?
John.
John.
What's up,
All right,
John?
John, can you name both carolers in that song?
Savannah and Connor.
Incorrect.
Don't put that on me.
Incorrect.
Don't put that
All right,
on
let's
me.
go to Dan in Westchester. Dan, can you name both carolers?
What's up, Dan?
Savannah and Dylan.
Oh, I mean, Dylan's voice is much better than that. No, incorrect. Let's go to John in Ewing. John, do you have both carolers?
Is that John Marks and Savannah Callahan?
Yes,
There
good
we
job.
go.
Johnny and Ewing will put you on hold. You won the pair of Sixers tickets. Can you put them on hold, Connor? Because for whatever reason, my phone's acting funny.
Outstanding.
Yes, it was Silvana and Johnny Marks. It wasn't bad.
No, I think it was really, really good.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of people were confused. A lot of people thought that was you, Connor. Dawood thought it was Patricia Caputo.
Well, that's how you can do that.
But it was Silvana Kelleher and Johnny Marks with "Baby It's Cold Outside." Not bad.
No.
What? You think it sucked?
No, I didn't think it sucked.
The interesting thing is Johnny Marks does not sound like himself singing.
He does not.
Like he didn't sound like Johnny Marks.
No, he does not. He really does not. Like it. And by the way, I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man.
I thought he was outstanding, but he was doing the Sinatra thing, you know, where
Yeah, he was.
he's doing that,
Kinda
which
just talking.
which by the way is cool
Yeah, absolutely.
because you got to still have it with a little bit.
Yeah, the singing wasn't bad. The song choice was interesting.
Come on, man.
Don't be like that.
My thing with Silvana, is she's just got to. It was like the same note the entire time until toward the end she raised it.
Wait a minute.
What are you, a singing
You're
coach?
sitting at
No,
you're
she's
gonna
got a very good voice, but I just need to hear different notes. She's got a future here. in the singing world.
Damn, Andrew Bocelli over here giving out.
Seriously.
Coming up
singing
next.
tips. When's your concert?
gosh.
Congratulations to John and Ewing, the pair of lower-level Sixers tickets, and you'll also be in the running for the $100 Harvest Seasonal Grill and Wine Bar gift card. Again, thank you to everybody at the station for doing this. All right.
That was excellent.
It's been cool because I know a lot of people get uncomfortable singing, and the fact that everybody's doing this for us and for you, the listener, to win prizes has been really cool. All right, coming up next, talked a little bit about Rams Seahawks just now. I want to try and take our Eagles bias out of the conversation for a second because January and February are going to be awesome. I'll tell why next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Oh, 7:41 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. There's been a request by Yo Dude on our YouTube chat that Silvana and Connor should sing a duet. I think you have scored out as the best singer so far.
I appreciate that.
And
Done a great job.
it was a
I think
1v1.
Ray did one too. Ray did a
Ray
good
was
job
good.
too.
1v1 battle between Silvana and Amy. I think Silvana has won that battle in terms of the female voice. So maybe you guys could do a special duet. Maybe do what's the New Year's Eve song?
Are you talking about Auld Lang Syne?
Yes, you guys can sing that. So you do a duet of that.
Okay.
All right. Name that duet.
I don't think anyone
Is
needs
that a
to hear me
duet?
sing again.
No, but why not?
Oh, I was going to say.
You can make any song a duet.
Yeah, you just sing
Me and DMX duetted Jingle Bells
Really?
the other day.
Seriously.
All right, so
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, not Jingle Bells.
Yeah, whatever. They're all the same. I'm trying to take Eagles bias out of it. Now, I know that this is going to lead to you saying, then how do you have them as a 0% chance of winning the
Right.
Super Bowl? But whatever.
Because I'm going to bring logic into any discussion we have.
The NFL playoffs are going to be freaking awesome this year. Like, more so than they really are, than they normally are.
They are going to be awesome.
And it's because of the you have no idea who's going to win nature of it, right? If you look in the AFC, that's why I'm trying to say forget Eagles for a second, because I want to start with the AFC. With the Chiefs dead, it's the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career that he's not going to, A, make the playoffs, but B, be in at least an AFC championship game, right?
Okay,
Like,
how
it's
wild is that?
It's crazy. So you have the Broncos as the number 1 seed at 12-2. And I read, we had Jeremy Fowler on the other day. He and
Sure.
Dan Graziano do the weekly, reporters' notes.
Yes.
They're both expecting, or would not be shocked, I should say, in a second round, if the Broncos were to hold on to the bye, a second-round elimination for Denver.
Could happen.
Because they just don't totally trust the Denver Broncos despite their 12-2 record. Same is said about the Patriots. Patriots are 11-3, but if you've looked at their schedule this year, they've had a very easy schedule this year, and then they lose to the Bills, right? The Jags, anyone think the Jags are going to win a Super Bowl?
No.
I don't
But
think
do I
that.
think the Jags can win a playoff game this year? Sure.
Right.
It all depends, too, how the dominoes fall. Like I said to you the other day, and I got grief from people on email going, oh, my gosh, I don't like if you told me that the Eagles right now have to play 3 NFC West teams in 3 weeks, I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be
I think they need one NFC West breather. And by the way, 2 home games I think would really help.
That
too.
would help, too. Yeah.
But if one of the road games of the 2 road games is going to Green Bay, I'm okay with it.
I can't tell you who I think's going to win the AFC Championship game before I even get to Super Bowl. I can't even tell you who I think's going to win the AFC Championship game.
You can't tell me who you think, unless you think it's just a fait accompli that the Rams are winning, which I find shocking.
I feel very fearful of the Los Angeles Rams.
No,
I
get that. No, I
but
get
I can't. No,
that.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're a lock to win the NFC Championship
the Rams.
game.
I mean, it's just the.
And part of it is what you're just saying. That division, if they square off for a third time with the Seahawks, or they square off for a third time with the 49ers, you never know.
Like
right?
if the Rams are such this juggernaut,
right.
If they're just such a team that everybody says the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl.
I can't say
then they should absolutely go to Seattle and win tonight.
Yeah, and I can't say that.
And if they lose tonight, then all those Rams narratives go out the window because they are they've shown again that they are vulnerable. They're vulnerable. They lose to the best teams that they play. When they play the best teams, they lose.
Now, what's interesting is yesterday, Rich Eisen, now with ESPN, he was talking about the Kansas City Chiefs not being in the playoffs anymore, and this is his opinion on it.
Here's what I want to say on this front. With the Kansas City Chiefs not making the playoffs, first time in the Mahomes era, you're going to miss them. You're going to miss the Kansas City Chiefs when the AFC playoffs are hitting. You're going to miss the buzz. You're going to miss the pizzazz. You're going to miss Mahomes versus fill in the blank. You're going to miss Mahomes versus fill in the blank with no time left. You're going to miss something. The AFC playoffs will have less juice to it without the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. And one day, all you Chiefs fatiguers out there, all you Chiefs fatiguers out there will admit it. You might have to go higher register. League's more fun when the Chiefs are good.
So I don't disagree with I love dominant teams because I'd like to see if they can get knocked off.
So you do like dominant teams?
Yeah. I think it's cool. I wish Brady kept playing.
Did you
know
have
what I mean?
Chiefs fatigue?
No, I don't really get that kind of stuff.
See, I did. I was tired of the Chiefs.
Sure. But what I'll say is I don't think the AFC playoffs are going to be boring just because they're not in it. Like, to me, the unknown is what makes it more exciting for them.
I think it's going to be fantastic.
Because the way the Chiefs are playing, what if the Chiefs snuck in as the 7th seed? Were they a team where you're like, oh, man, here they go. They're going to go on a run and win the Super Bowl. Like, I didn't feel comfortable about the Chiefs all year.
No, like I'd much rather watch the Chiefs as a lower seed play against, say, the Patriots than, I don't know, Jaguars and Texans. Or
right now, how about first weekend, Connor? Just to give it to the audience to put context on this. First weekend, you would be sitting down to watch the Houston Texans go to New England. Anybody think the Texans couldn't pull off that win?
I could see it. Their defense is that good.
The Bills would be traveling to Jacksonville.
I could see
Anybody
the Bills.
think the Bills couldn't win at Jacksonville? Nice weather.
I could see
everything
it.
like that. And then the 4-5 matchup would be the Chargers would be traveling to Pittsburgh. All the lower seeds could win that game.
Yeah.
They could all win.
By the way, that game's going to be 20-17.
And by the way, the opening games on Wild Card Weekend in the NFC side would be Packers would travel to the Bears, Eagles would be hosting the 49ers, Buccaneers would be hosting the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I think it's a great wild card weekend.
I get it.
Every one of those games, you could say the road team has a chance to win every single one of those road games.
I get what he's saying. Like, you don't have Mahomes, right? Mahomes is in the playoffs. But to me, playoffs isn't about one guy. Playoffs to me is about the unknown. That's why do we love March Madness, the first 2 rounds? Because of the madness, because of the upsets. Now, you want the best teams to be in the Final Four, but the reason why we love the NCAA tournament is because of the upsets. The playoff field in both the AFC and NFC, you could legitimately make a case that the 7th seed could beat the 2 seed, the 6th seed could beat the 3 seed, and the 5 seed could beat the 4 seed in both conferences. A legitimate case.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, this could be the year where I would call it right now where I think home field advantage may mean the least ever in the NFL playoffs. It may be the least ever.
And ever since they made it just one team gets a bye, it makes it even more interesting.
I think it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I do not think people are going to be saying, "Oh wow,
I
really miss Mahomes."
I don't
and the
think
Chiefs.
so
I
either.
think more people are saying, "Yay, I don't have to watch it again." They're tired of the story. See something different. I don't think the Jags really get people excited.
No, I don't.
Or the Steelers.
The Steelers don't. I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the most disliked.
I know, but
players.
you'll still get the Steeler historic. Like, people are interested by them all the time. All right, coming up next, our man Andrew DeCecco joins us in studio for the remainder of the show today. What are some of the biggest differences that he has seen when studying the tape by the Eagles offense in the last 2 weeks? Is he expecting them to build off of some of the new things we've seen? It is Kincade and Salciunas. DeCecco joins us for the remainder of the show here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Speaking of the Eagles looking to build on a few things, I'm Connor Thomas, and the Birds are just a couple of days away from their next matchup. They'll be heading to Washington Saturday to take on the Commanders, and Kevin Patullo talked yesterday about trying to build on what the offense has done recently.
We got to keep pushing through and building on what we've done throughout these previous weeks. So if you can continue to grow throughout the end of the year, who knows what can happen. So that's where we're at right now, and we just got to keep pushing the envelope to see what we continue to improve on and see where this thing goes.
We'll see if the Commanders game shows even more improvement from the offense than what we saw against the Raiders. The injury report was not great for the Birds yesterday, though. Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and Fred Johnson were all out of practice. We'll keep a close eye on their statuses as we approach Saturday. Phil's made a bullpen move yesterday, signing righty Brad Keller to a 2-year, $22 million deal. The hard-throwing righty pitched to a 2.07 ERA last year out of the pen with the Cubs. Flyers are back on the ice tonight in Buffalo against the Sabres. Puck drops at 7:30 p.m. You can hear that game live right here on The Fanatic. Unfortunately, Tyson Forrester underwent arm surgery. He's going to be out 5 months. His season is likely over. Andrew DeCecco joins us coming up next. He'll be with us for the rest of the show. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
starting at Macy's Great Gift Sale this Saturday. No purchase necessary. See store for details. Official rules at Macys.com/great gift card giveaway.
Coming up at 10, Middays with Marks. Now more of Kincade and Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Seeing from the offense do differently, other than the result itself,
right?
Do differently that you also think they can build off of moving forward?
Well, a lot of under center. They were under center 30 times against the Raiders, and if you look back to, I believe it was the Vikings game and the Giants game. Those were two games as well where they were under center a healthy amount.
Sure.
I don't think there's any mistake that you saw the offense come alive a little bit. So I look at that, but I also look at the intermediary routes, the timing of those throws, the throws inside the numbers, and Jalen being willing to fit the ball into tight windows. All of those things, I believe, are helping unlock this offense a little bit. And when you go under center, it adds variance to the run game, but it also allows for more complexities in route concepts. It forces defenses to get out of their base alignment. You have them reeling a little bit, and it just opens up so many other things. So I think that if the Eagles are if they're able to continue to lean into that, those type of things I think are going to be a pretty big way to keep things rolling in the right direction.
Go ahead, John.
I know you've had your detective hat on. So what do you believe has unlocked this? Do you believe like it's been collaboratively the coaches? Do you believe it's been Jalen sitting down and saying, I'm willing to do things I haven't done before? How do you think we've gotten to here to where we're feeling slightly better?
Honestly, I think when things aren't going well and you probably tried everything that you can short of doing what we just outlined, you have to go back to the drawing board and say, what can we do to get this offense headed in the right direction? Sometimes that means being comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
And doing things that maybe you haven't had to do in your career if you're Jalen, or maybe you're not as comfortable with, you do that. Maybe it's Kevin Patullo looking at it from a different perspective, saying, let's add more of this in because we have to try something. You're not going to completely shuffle your personnel at this point in the season, so sometimes you have to go and do something a little bit differently. And I think it's sort of been a group conversation that they've been talking through to get the offense to a point where it's functioning. Maybe not as expected, but a lot better than we've seen.
I just think, like, my one question, it kind of goes off what John was saying, like, what led to this? Like, you mentioned the two games where they were under center, the Vikings and Giants games, arguably the best offensive performances by the Eagles, and then they have the horrible offensive performance against the Packers, the horrible offensive performance against the Lions. Say what you want about the weather. Maybe you shouldn't be in shotgun, dropping back and trying to throw downfield if it's that windy that we all saw. We all saw the flags when they were showing it on TV. And then you lose 3 straight games and the offense is a mess. And then they go, you know what? Let's try to do the thing that worked 2 months ago. Why? Like, how does that happen? And I get it. Nick Sirianni said earlier in the week in the press conference, different matchups lead to different plans and game plans. But sometimes you also have to realize, all right, this is what works, so we just got to try it.
Right, and that's a fair question. I think a lot of it has to do with when they've experienced so much success, maybe not having to lean on that, maybe having, leaning into Nick Sirianni's philosophy and what Jalen Hurts maybe prefers.
Sure.
You try to see if you're able to get that going. And clearly when that's not happening, you get to a point in the season where you're like, we have to do something differently. And we had success doing it this way, so let's revert back to that. Let's maybe try to have more of a healthier dose of that while implementing some of our other, philosophical, intricacies that they like to put within the offense, but also going back to what's made them successful at different points of the season, if that makes sense.
Are you a believer that this is going to be sustainable from what you've seen? And how confident are you that what you've seen as a foundation can really be built upon?
Yes, but
I see it in your face.
Yes,
if you're
but
watching on YouTube, you saw his face there. A little bit.
There's hesitation only because the offense hasn't performed to expectations for the better part of the season. We've seen spurts. We haven't seen typically quarters 1 through 4 where they're able to just put teams away and dictate the flow of the game. I believe that they've shown they've made notable strides in heading things in the right direction. And you never want to make too much off the Raiders game. It was the Raiders, a 2-win team, but they are an NFL team, and you hate to say it, but they get paid too. And the Eagles did what they were supposed to do. Now, had they won that game 23-20 or 23-17, and they struggled a little bit, I think we're having a little bit of a different conversation. But the sentiment that I got in that locker room, at least from a defensive standpoint, was, we did what we were supposed to do. And Cooper DeJean saying that's what that game should have looked like. So they weren't necessarily happy about it, but they knew that they had to go out there and take care of business. Offensively, I think all that being said, you could still look at that and say, yeah, there are things, tangible things that they can build off of. And they also did some nice things against the Chargers, minus the turnovers. But from a conceptual standpoint, I thought they really started to turn a corner.
Yeah, I liked that it looked different. Right, I've been very happy with the differences of how it's looked, but I can't ignore the fact that it's the Raiders. I can't. And so this upcoming week against the Commanders, I was saying to John, if I see it back-to-back weeks where the offense, and I don't need to see 31 points again, but 4 quarters where they're moving the ball downfield, I'll say, okay, we're finally starting to figure out what may make this offense tick regardless of the opponent. So how much do you balance that? It was the Raiders, but you saw different things. Do you think those different things are what they should continue to do moving forward? Should they continue to try out new concepts as the weeks go on? What would you do from now until the end of the regular season where, other than Buffalo, there's not really an opponent where you're going, man, that's that team I'm scared of?
Yeah, so what I would do, and the Eagles are in a really good spot, not only because of the opponents on the schedule, but also the health. They're healthier than most teams are in their position. But I would almost lean into what you've been doing the past couple of weeks. Use it against an inferior opponent. Try to fine-tune some of those elements and then use that as a springboard into the postseason. I wouldn't necessarily revert back to the offense of old. I would try to keep building off of what you're able to do against the Chargers and what you're able to do against the Raiders, because I really do think that they're starting to turn a corner there. And that goes beyond just looking at, the Raiders and how they're able to win. I conceptually look at that and say, yeah, they're tangible things that I think they could start to hang their hat on.
Eagles win Saturday. They can clinch They can clinch the 3 seed. They can clinch the division. So, how much is the balance between they need a lot of things to happen for them to even get the 2 seed. They need help.
Yeah.
How much do you balance the desire to climb in the standings to get potentially a second home game over the desire to maybe get some guys some much-needed rest?
Yeah, I think clinching should obviously be first and foremost, and perhaps their position changes once they're able to, let's say, clinch this week. Maybe you don't have to rush Lane Johnson back. I mean, he's trending in the right direction, don't get me wrong, but he would be even more healthy if you have the luxury of being able to wait and maybe bring him back for later in the season or postseason.
I don't care about the Buffalo game. everybody, like, I know it's a big game for people because it's Buffalo.
Right.
Like, to me, at this point, if they clinch the 3 seed and clinch the division, I truly don't care much about the Buffalo game. Like, to me, I would rather say, okay, Eagles got a healthy team, rested team going into the playoffs. I'll take my chances because defense travels.
Exactly.
So I'd
travels.
rather have that than worry about, winning a game that really probably ends up meaning nothing if you win at Buffalo.
So best case scenario for the Eagles, they take care of business this week, and then you're able to kind of do as you please almost in how you choose to approach the playtime allocation, right? I mean, you don't necessarily there's not that urgency that there ordinarily would have been with Lane Johnson. He's too integral to what the Eagles do from an offensive standpoint. You can make an argument he's the most important player on that side of the ball. I don't think that's a stretch. And then Jalen Carter as well. It's week to week. That hasn't changed, but you don't necessarily have to rush him back because, I mean, if they're able to take care of business, that alleviates all of it.
All right, so I have a question for you. I was listening to Unfiltered when you were in on Tuesday, and Bill said something, and you reacted to it, and I'm really interested. I have a follow-up for you because you're here. Bill's not.
Okay.
I have a follow-up for you off of something you guys were talking about earlier this week. So I'll ask that coming up next, as well as questions for DeCecco. You can send them in, 610-632-0975. It's always one of the fastest-moving segments that we do on the show. You send in the questions. DeCecco does the work. John and I put our feet up. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Going to tell you that every day someone in your community needs your help, and you don't even know them. They need a way back after addiction has taken away from their life, and they're trying to find a way back. And you can help them with something that you don't even realize that's not even of much use to you anymore. That car, that truck, that boat, that motorcycle sitting on your property at the end of the road for you could end up being the road to redemption for somebody else. And the Salvation Army is going to help them get there. That car that you donate, that motorcycle or RV, can help somebody else rebuild their life, can help somebody else find stability, can help somebody else discover hope again. And the Salvation Army's been changing lives for nearly 150 years. Your kindness continues to make that possible. And donating is simple. Go to 800-SA-TRUCK or go to satruck.org and schedule a pickup. They'll come to your home, pick up the vehicle, give you an IRS-approved receipt that you can hand to your tax professional, and by donating that vehicle, you're going to help somebody else take a step forward in their road to recovery. The Salvation Army, they need your help to continue to do the most good.
The Fanatic. All right, before we get to questions for DeCecco from you at 610-632-0975, there's a question for DeCecco from me. So I was listening to you on Filter the other day.
Thank you.
You were with Billy and Ricky and Silvana, and it was tremendous. And you guys were talking about how before the season started, you guys tried to preach patience, especially with the Kevin Patullo front. There was obviously not as much patience on this show when it came to the Kevin Patullo front. And Bill said, look, even I have to admit, I did not think I would have to wait until week 13 or 14 to be like, oh, I'm seeing some things here. Is there a factor of too late, in your opinion? Like they're going to try to force a bunch of new things this late in the season. I'm glad that they're trying new things. Part of me wonders if Jalen threw 4 picks that Monday night against the Chargers because it was like, here's a bunch of new things that you have to do. Is there a too late potential factor in your opinion?
Yes, I think so. And to your point, I don't know that they're completely revamping anything more than they're trying to bring in different type of concepts and ideologies to an offense that was lifeless. I mean, it was lacking a lot of pizzazz.
It was lifeless. You can say it was horrible.
I mean, it wasn't performing to standard, is what I would say. And so when you realize you have that much talent, there's always so many different cards you can play, always so many buttons you can push, and you have to tip your cap for them not just resting on their laurels and saying, okay, well, this is what we've always done. And I don't know that it's too late because I think you reach a point maybe later in the winter months because the postseason's right around the corner that you reach a point where you can make a case that it's too late, but it's not like they're completely stripping it down and trying to rebuild it. They're just trying to add in some new flavor
not like
to
Matt
it.
Patricia taking over and trying to completely change the defense.
Yeah, stick a pencil behind you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get some football music. We're going to do some questions for DeCecco, brought to us by who, Connor?
Our friends over at Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit lundylaw.com. That's lundylaw.com.
All right, John, put your feet up.
I got him.
All right, Greg from Bethlehem will lead us off today, and he asks, he says, please ask Andrew. We will. Nice. If he thinks that the Eagles are going to further refine and expand their under-center plays this week against Washington.
Yes, I do believe that they will. It's been successful. I mean, they did it, I mentioned, Greg, 30 times against the Raiders to great success. Now, it was the Raiders, but there's something that I believe that they can build off of, and why not try to roll that out again against the Commanders? They have 2 weeks against the Commanders, 2 out of the next 3 weeks. So, yes.
All right, what else?
Mike in New Jersey checks in and asks, whatever happened to Ty Robinson?
He's there. He's playing, just not a whole lot. And if you've listened or read anything back to even training camp, there is a number of guys who were considerably in front of him on the depth chart, and I understand that he's played 5 years of college football, so one would expect, and it's fair to expect, that he would join the NFL and be a little bit ahead of the curve, but it's not always the case. There's the technical aspects that you have to take into account, and I just think that you couldn't make a case for him playing over a Byron Young or a Moro Jomo or a Jordan Davis or a Jalen Carter. That's life in the NFL. He's the 5th defensive tackle, and even right now he's only playing about 5 to 7 snaps without Jalen Carter.
Brad from Mount Laurel checks in and asks about Saquon Barkley, saying recently it looks like he's gotten going, but do you think we get to any point this year where an individual game feels like what it felt like last year for him?
I've thought a lot about this. I do. I do believe that there's going to be a breakout Saquon Barkley game in the postseason. And I know that no one wants to hear this, but there's been moments this season where he's been close. There's been a lot of positives to take away from the Chargers game, and I understand that one of those chunk plays was 52 yards, but they're blocking it up a lot better. It seems to me like the offensive line is starting to get healthier. At least that's the way that it's looking on the field. And so it's not like you can flip a switch in the postseason, but I just get the sense that they're going to have that running game where it's going to be sort of an awakening.
You'll be proud of us. We were a little worried about somebody yesterday. I know it was the estimated practice from 2 days ago, but Cam Latu
trust me,
was listed as a DNP, the estimated, with the stinger. And stingers, you don't know. It's like a hamstring.
Do you remember that final play where Tank Bigsby, they weren't able to get in on 4th down?
They didn't get in.
Well, I saw Latu walk off the field, and he was sort of like grabbing at his shoulder area. And I asked him after the game. I said, "Hey man, you all right? You good?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "But it was it was very painful." And for someone like that who doesn't seem, he feels impervious to pain, the way that he throws his body around, you know that had to be something that was super painful.
Was it crazy for me to say that was I said it to you on Sunday. That was my favorite drive on Sunday.
With the reserves?
Yeah, that was my favorite drive.
11 minutes long.
That was my favorite drive on Sunday.
They could have scored if they wanted to.
Yeah,
I mean, like Darius Cooper was making a couple nice receptions. Britton Covey was out there.
It was my favorite drive on Sunday.
Maybe the backup should be the starters.
I even tweeted, Andrew, you may have seen this. I said,
there are other shows in this market that would do that show.
You're right.
I said, is there about to be a Cam Latu / Britton Covey touchdown on this drive?
That would have been huge. That would have been your best day
a
of your
shovel
life.
pass to Cam Latu, man. That would have been awesome.
What else we got?
Jeff from DC checks in, says Sean McVay is 1-5 versus the Eagles, including 0-3 versus Nick Sirianni. How much does the history against the Rams affect your opinion of who they are as a potential playoff opponent?
This is an interesting question. I love this. And so I look at it. Everything almost resets when you get in the postseason, but you can't look past the success that Nick Sirianni has had against Sean McVay, against Matt LaFleur, who was part of that coaching tree. And that's why when I look at this Eagles team and you look at the NFC, why not them? Because you can make a case. I mean, you look at the Rams, Sean McVay. He just outlined that. You look at Matt LaFleur without Micah Parsons. I think you feel pretty good about that.
And a team led by their defense.
The Chicago Bears are not going, I feel very comfortable saying they're not going to rush for 281 yards again. Vic Fangio will take drastic measures to ensure that doesn't happen. And they're going to, in turn, they would make Caleb Williams beat them with his arm. So I feel really good about the whole, the landscape of the NFC playoffs anyway, but certainly with the Rams as well, especially if they have to go to L.A., where you're playing in a controlled environment and things like that.
Is it still Rams 1, Seahawks 2 threat for you? Threat level?
Yes, I would say so. And playing in Seattle, I don't know that we should that could be overstated about how loud and rowdy that crowd is. I mean, Eagles fans travel well. We know that. But going to Seattle where it's loud, you have Sam Darnold in that type of environment versus bringing him to Lincoln Financial Field where it's cold. You get some hits on him. All of a sudden, he looks a little different.
You're not getting 10,000 fans in Seattle.
No.
Not in Seattle.
You're not
that's
getting
a devoted.
You're going to take over. You're going to take over L.A. You're going to get 20,000, 25,000 fans.
Yeah, that's the other part of going to L.A. wouldn't be bad. One, it's a controlled environment. Two, you're going to see more Eagles fans than not. I mean, I could tell you that firsthand just from a couple weeks ago.
I would also worry about, you mentioned the noise in Seattle. They're still not getting the play call in all that quick, so you can only imagine the hand over the helmet.
You don't want to go to Seattle.
That's a good point, man.
How about that?
I don't think you want to go to Santa Clara.
Right down your next Inside the Birds piece.
I don't think you want to go to Santa Clara either, though. And the 49ers
for the Super Bowl,
are not.
I would.
Well, yeah, that's different. 49ers are not that's not a place you necessarily want to play either.
Right. Yeah, that's another one.
By the way, we already determined that we're not going if they get to the Super Bowl.
We're not. We're not doing 3 a.m. in the morning.
Well, no, I was told I'm not allowed to go because I didn't think that they would get to the Super Bowl.
Well,
you should. And I said, all right, I don't have to do 3 a.m. wake-up shows. Sounds good.
I think 3 a.m. on Radio Row's a little brutal anyway.
All right, coming up next. Have you been following along Name That Caroler?
No, but I look forward to this.
We have Name That Caroler Part 2, Day 4. That comes your way at 8:30. Also, we're going to go through the top 10 highest-paid quarterbacks this year. You tell me who was worth it and who wasn't. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
I love the idea of live betting on the Bet Parks app. I know my wife's heading over to Parks Casino today to have a little fun and have some time. So I know live betting. I can't go to the casino, but I can use the Bet Parks app. I'm going to a comedy show tonight in Downingtown. So what am I going to do? I'll walk in on that Rams-Seahawks game maybe at halftime by the time I get home. And then I can see the landscape. I can place a bet on that game live whenever I want it. I can look at the Birds game on Saturday and see, 6.5 points. Birds are favored. Over under 44.5. What do I want to do? Do I want to go over under? Do I want to bet individual player performances? I can do all of that on the BetParks Sportsbook and Casino app. New users can get up to $1,000 in casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours, and BetParks.com has all the details for you. But I like the sports wagering. And with the college football playoff beginning tomorrow night, you got Bama and Oklahoma tomorrow night. Are you kidding me? Hey, you got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Michigan. You love to play. You play to win. So if you're going to bet, I want you to bet Parks. Should you have a gambling problem, please, I implore you, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Setting up the run game. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are just a couple of days away from their next matchup as they prepare to head to Washington on Saturday and take on the Commanders. And Jalen Hurts met with media yesterday. And he said that a lot of what the offense has been doing well lately has been trying to set up the run game.
Just think you've seen us be better at complementing some of the things we've been doing for the run game and being able to establish the run game. Kind of some of those changes have been to try and get the run game going a bit, and a byproduct has been able to throw it the way we have.
High tide raises all boats is the expression, and with that has come a better passing offense as well for the Eagles, so we'll see if the Commanders game shows even more improvement. The injury report wasn't great for the Birds yesterday, though. Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and Fred Johnson all out of practice. We'll keep an eye on all of them as we get closer to Saturday. Phillies made a bullpen move yesterday, signing righty Brad Keller to a 2-year, $22 million deal. Keller pitched to a 2.07 ERA last year with the Chicago Cubs. Flyers back on the ice tonight in Buffalo against the Sabres. Puck drops at 7:30 p.m. You can hear that game live right here on the Fanatic. Unfortunately, Tyson Forrester underwent arm surgery. He's going to be out 5 months. Andrew DeCecco stays with the guys for the remainder of the show. This update is brought to you by Super Short. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super short. Not kind of short, not pretty short, but super short. Coming soon. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
right, Name That Caroler Part 2, Day 4 comes your way at 8:30. We've been doing every single day this week at 7:30 and 8:30. Tomorrow will be the final day of it. We've been giving away Sixers tickets, Flyers tickets, and everybody that wins will be in the running for the Harvest Seasonal Grill and Wine Bar gift card. The 8:30 prize will be the pair of suite tickets for the Flyers-Ducks game. So you'll be hanging out with our previous winners on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that game is January 6th at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Flyers-Ducks, you can win it coming up in a few minutes. I have in front of me, on an annual basis, not full contract, but on an annual basis, the top 10 highest paid players in the NFL, and they are all quarterbacks, obviously. Jalen Hurts, by the way, at 11, not even in the top 10.
Huh.
Here are the names that are in the top 10, and you tell me if it has been or at one point will be worth it for these teams. Because, John, you hear me talk about this all the time. The NFL has a fear of we can't let this guy go.
Yes.
We don't know what's next.
Because we may not find the next one.
And
yeah, not a lot of teams out there are good at drafting and developing.
No, it's horrible. So Lamar's 10th, and worth it. I know this year's been weird for Baltimore, but
Lamar's worth every dollar.
Lamar's worth it. He's two-time MVP, right?
Every dollar.
Herbert's at 9, $52.5 million. He's got the potential, right? He's got all this stuff that they talk about, but they haven't won a damn thing.
No, I think it is worth it, though, because if you ask most GMs ask every GM
they would pick him up in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. I think he needs to elevate his performance, but they also have to build the team around him a little bit better than they have. That offensive line is among the league's worst. I mean, it's
horrible.
Yeah.
We have two players tied with $53 million.
Okay.
And I think I could make a legitimate case that they're not worth it.
Who?
Jared Goff and Brock Purdy.
Agreed.
Not that I'm saying they stink. My belief on the 49ers, anyone could go there and win with Kyle Shanahan. With the Lions, there's so much talent.
Right. It's like, relative. You're saying relative to what he's making.
Yeah,
and,
like $53 million.
Well, I don't. I'm gonna politely disagree with both of you. Today's standards of what quarterbacks are being paid by what quarterbacks are paid in the NFL, I think both of those guys are above standard for what performances on a Sunday afternoon. I think they're more than earning their money.
So even Purdy, huh?
Yeah, I think he is.
I could see where you're going with Goff, definitely, but Brock Purdy.
Look, in that system, I know what Shanahan does. I mean, Shanahan is just, he's a freaking
He's a brilliant offensive mind.
They're probably still winning.
Horrible neighbor.
They're probably still winning the same amount of games with Mac Jones. And, oh, by the way, we saw it already this year.
No,
right?
he is.
He won games.
I might argue that Mac Jones is a better quarterback for that offense.
And getting paid literally $50 million or $40 million less probably, which then impacts. Remember, this offseason was when they paid Purdy, and they could not bring back a lot of players.
But is Mac Jones on a one-year contract?
I think he's still on his rookie deal, though.
I don't know with Mac Jones, because I could tell you this. I could see Shanahan and John Lynch trying to flip Brock Purdy.
I think Mac Jones is the better of the two.
I could see them.
He signed a 2-year, $8 million
with them
deal.
last offseason?
Yep.
I could absolutely see them this offseason trying to flip Brock Purdy.
I could, yeah,
and see if somebody wants that deal, because they could get, absolutely, there would be teams that
he's averaging $4 million a year. So imagine your quarterback is good enough to win you football games.
Now you'd only have 1 year, so they'd have to renegotiate with him to extend. But the thing is, man, you could get a great deal with him.
All right, number 6 at $53.1 million is Tua.
No,
terrible.
No.
And now
emphatically no, that's not
absolutely
worth it.
not.
All right, 4 players tied second with $55 million. Josh Allen, we all agree,
yep,
totally worth it. Joe Burrow, if it weren't for injury, I would say totally worth it.
Not this year.
I say I think he's worth it.
His attitude sucks this year. His attitude.
He's an interesting cat from what I've observed from afar.
Trevor Lawrence, congratulations to the Jags being in first place at this point of the
season.
He's been
fantastic.
Yeah, he's been very good.
I still don't like. They paid him before he was ever.
No.
You're
right, but he's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's been good this year,
and he's been on a roll right now. Where
probably helps having a good coach with him.
He's playing amongst I would say in the past month, he's playing amongst some of the better quarterback play in the NFL.
That's fair. I think he's right now.
He's proving
is the first year he's earning his contract
with a really good offensive-minded coach.
He's proven them right for investing in him.
Jordan Love, also a $55 million quarterback.
Yeah, I don't believe he is.
I don't think so
I don't
either.
see it.
I think
I'd put him behind.
He's a fine player. He's a fine player.
I think Brock Purdy could win just as much as Jordan Love can win.
And lastly, still number one at $60 million a year, Dak Prescott. Now, he's a tremendous quarterback.
I think he's worth
I think
that.
Dak's worth every dollar.
I really do. I think he's a tremendous
Is his
quarterback.
contract hurting what they're trying to build?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They got no money. They have no money.
Would you flip Dak if you were Dallas?
What's their plan?
No, but I would. The thing is their
Start over.
Their plan is that they have to
so much money.
Yeah,
Drafting they're going to have a hard time keeping some of those.
That's
core
why.
pieces.
See, that's why I say if I would flip that, and I guarantee you, any amount of money, there'd be tons of teams that would take Dak Prescott.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Yeah.
So I would flip Dak Prescott, but there's Jerry Jones' ego would never allow.
Yeah, it's
it.
not going to happen.
But I would flip him.
And the beauty
in a
is
second.
Jalen Hurts isn't even in the top 10, and he's been the most successful
And
out of
Jalen's
all
gonna
those
come
out of all
calling.
those quarterbacks because Mahomes isn't in the top 10 either.
And this offseason, we're going to do the shows where Jalen is asking for money.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. All
Could
right, Andrew, this is your first time live hearing it. We do Name That Caroler. We've been doing it all week.
Dylan McKinnon.
7:30 and 8:30. Dylan's was the best still, number one by far.
But no, we cannot guess on air.
Ray's Feliz Navidad was tremendous.
Fantastic.
From earlier this week. They played it again on Middays with Marks yesterday. I was driving around and heard it, so that was nice. So, without further ado, fifth caller after the song is done. To get this right, we'll get the Flyers Suite tickets. I'll tell you more about it after you hear the 30-second clip.
Santa's got a little friend, his name is Dominic. The cutest little donkey, you never see him kick. When Santa visits his paisans with Dominic, he'll be. Because the reindeer cannot climb the hills of Italy. Jiggity jing, it's Dominic the donkey.
Terrible.
Jiggity jing, the Italian Christmas donkey. La 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 di da da. La 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 di da da.
Oh, wow.
That was
what a
some-
crescendo at the
Okay,
end.
all I'm going to tell you is
My ears are bleeding.
the legend Mike Missinelli hated the pizza guy
Yes, on the
pizza box.
Yep,
he thought
did.
that was like really like
He
sort
thought it
of
was offensive to the Italian
offensive
culture.
to the Italian community. The pizza guy on the box. That is like far worse. If Mikey Miss is having his French press this morning and he hears that, there's a text being fired off.
And all that being said, I think that's a pretty easy one. I think that's a pretty easy one for the listeners.
I'm going to tell you.
All right, so we need caller number 5.
I didn't think Shukri had that in him.
We know we need caller number 5 at 610-632-0975. The winner will get the pair of suite tickets to the Flyers-Ducks game Tuesday, January 6th at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Get your tickets for all the biggest matchups, theme nights, and rivalry games at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com. And every single winner this week will be in the running for the $100 Harvest Seasonal Grill and Wine Bar gift card. Purchase them online at harvestseasonal.com or pick up in person at any of their 8 convenient locations in PA and New Jersey.
I didn't
All
know
right,
Kevin Cooney was Italian.
Let's go to Jared in Maple Shade. Jared, can you name the beautiful voice that we just heard?
That was my man, Bill Colarulo.
That is correct. Good job, Jared. You're not stupid.
Or as Johnny Marks calls him, Bill Colarulo.
Yeah, that's the one I don't understand, the Colarulo.
Colarulo.
I hear that.
Like
I hear
cola.
him say
Like he's
that.
drinking
Yeah.
a cola.
Sirianni love.
Oh,
no.
No.
Now, I will say, I would imagine, knowing Bill, he's probably making his kids crack up singing that at home.
Oh, I guarantee it.
It's just when it gets, played for the entire Delaware Valley.
That was hilarious.
It may not be as
That was
as
outstanding.
appreciated by some of our listeners.
Oh, I loved it.
I like the commitment to it.
He
So
did.
do I.
Yeah, I like that he really leaned into it.
The
Eehaw.
hee-haw was
That was fantastic.
that was strong.
I thought there was a real donkey in the room.
Well, he is
there
an
is.
ass.
All right.
Well,
Have you
if
listened-
you listen to,
have you
listen to
listened
Ricky,
Unfiltered?
Well, Ricky refers to him as Donkey.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good. See, that it's perfect.
It's like you were listening to Shrek.
All right. We do that again one more day. Thank God. Tomorrow, the last day of Name That Caroler, 7:30 and 8:30 for your chances to win either the Flyers tickets or the Sixers tickets. I appreciate everybody at the station that was involved with this, and I appreciate all of you for being a part of it by trying to win these great prizes. All right, coming up next. Can you build or find something in the final third of an NFL regular season? I already asked Andrew the Checo that question. Jalen Hurts kind of made their season sound more impressive yesterday. But it also has me questioning why. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Your gift-giving time is really, really counting down, and she doesn't need another practical gift. She does not want something for her kitchen so she can cook you dinner. She wants something from Benari Jewelers. Benari Jewelers, Exton in Newtown Square. Under two roofs, they have amazing gifts, and they have gifts that are filled absolutely in every price range. So diamond stud earrings in every price range. Pendant necklaces, bracelets, colored gemstones. These are the kind of gifts that she's going to be showing off on her Instagram. These are the kind of gifts that she can wear every day, or she's going to wear at date night or holiday parties. These are the pieces that are going to fit every part of her life. They're going to be super elegant, or they're going to be something that she is going to find, and she's not going to find it anywhere else. All there, under one roof, at Benari Jewelers. Now, she could go in and give you a little wish list, or you can go in and deal with the friendly team of Benari Associates that are so helpful. They're going to know, I'm looking for earrings. This is my price range. This is what I need. Help me out. That signature yellow box, well, let's just say Santa, you'll be his best helper. Benari Jewelers, 2 great locations, Exton and Newtown Square. Do a little window shopping before you go at BenariJewelers.com.
The Dunks.
It is 8:40 here on Kincade and Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic on this Thursday morning. Our man Andrew DeCecco in studio with us for the remainder of the show today. We'll also have another special guest in studio here momentarily.
I think
we're really
he
excited
popped
for
right off
something.
of your sweatshirt.
Oh, yes, he did, man. I can't wait. We'll welcome him
just
in,
saw him.
in a few minutes. Really excited. But real quick, so Andrew, I asked you earlier if there's any fear of potential too little, too late, like finding out a way to get the offense going. This was Jalen Hurts during his media availability yesterday, once again talking about the Eagles' offensive identity.
It's just a complementary force. There's a nature of complementing everything and trying to draw things together when you game plan. That's how I've always seen it. And so, right now, you win games based off of identity. The thing for us is we've gotten to this point, and we've been able to get to this point and be playing in big-time games, not really establishing an identity. I think it is healthy to have won games in a lot of ways, and I think it's encouraging to be able to build off of something positive.
It makes it impressive that they were at one point 8-2, and Jalen Hurts is telling you we still don't have, or maybe we're still figuring out our offensive identity. So it makes it really impressive that
they were the 1 seed up 21-0.
Yeah, it's almost like
Dallas.
they rolled the ball out there and said, let's try to win us a football game. And the fact that they were able to win as many games in the first 10 games of the season is really impressive. But then you also see not really knowing what you guys want to do, or you may have an idea of what you want to do, but you can't do it because the offensive line's banged up, ground game's not going. You then find out that, oh, man, we lost 3 straight weeks probably because of not having an identity. So I don't know. I don't necessarily know what my question is for you.
Sure.
But when you hear him say on December 18th that we're still trying to figure out our identity, yeah, I'm impressed that they're 9-5 without one.
Yeah.
But clock's ticking, bro.
Yeah, their identity is running the football.
Right.
Right? We all know that. They just haven't been able to do it as efficiently as they were last season or even close to that for most of the season. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We talked about the health of the offensive line and so on and so forth. But that is what almost like what they went into the season believing that they were going to be able to hang their hat on. And so they're not equipped to be a pass-heavy team. That's not how the offense is constructed. So, to your point, Andrew, yeah, they have done a pretty impressive job of finding different ways to win,
right?
All things considered. But yeah, I think the last couple of weeks there have been signs of reasons for optimism based off of their ability to adapt to what teams are doing and try to go against the grain, against what we've seen them do anyway, traditionally, and try some different things. Because clearly what they weren't able to hang their hat this year on their philosophical approach of running the football.
And that's what worries me. Like, I still don't have, other than defense, and look, it's damn good defense. But on offense, there's still not something that I can hang my hat on where I go, all right, they have this. I think they have something with Dallas Goedert. We saw it last week against the Raiders.
They have something.
But then they went away from it for a month because they had to target somebody, right? And now all of a sudden last week, number 11 gets 2 targets. Dallas Goedert has once again an incredible game. Might have just been the Raiders. I don't know. But I think there's something there.
Yeah.
But I don't know how, like, is that just playoff time? They're going to go to it? Like, it's confusing to me.
And by the way, I think you brought up a really good point about Dallas Goedert. The intermediate passing game is something that we haven't seen to a large degree under Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. And I think that that's going to help unlock a lot of different things in the postseason in terms of being able to push the ball down the field. I still would like to see some more checkdowns given the type of backs that the Eagles have.
Sure.
Saquon. Maybe not so much Tank Bigsby in that regard, but Will Shipley routinely beating linebackers in training camp on wheel routes. That's another area that they could tap into. Get Saquon involved more as a receiver. But that Dallas Goedert, you can see the mismatch that he is for opposing linebackers and safeties. His run after the catch ability is lethal, and I think could really generate a lot of momentum and energy in a postseason game. We saw that happen last season against the Packers, where he stiff-armed, I think it was Valentine, the corner, Carrington Valentine, 2 times on the same play. I think that there's something there as well, and that should open things up, in theory, for the rest of the passing.
Here's what drives me a little crazy, though, with that answer from Jalen Hurts, though, is the idea is that we're talking about them trying to figure out an identity with 3 games to go. And now, do you want to play too many cards on the table for opponents to be figuring you out right as you're heading into the postseason?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't.
Like
I don't
how
think
much do you want to show, but you got to work it out and show that you can do it. Like sort of understand that you can do it.
That's why I think games like the Commanders this week and then 2 weeks from now are a really good measuring stick where you can iron out some of these things so that you do have it dialed in by the time the postseason rolls around. But yeah, I don't know that you could worry too much about showing too much because eventually you just got to line it up and you have to say that our guys are better than your guys, and it comes down to execution. So I think you got to continue to build off of what they've been doing the past couple weeks.
All right, quick break from Eagles talk.
All right.
Although he probably might want to talk about the Eagles because we know how big of a fan he is. Joining us in studio now, one of Santa's elves is here.
What?
My man, Benny, Benergy.
What's up?
What's
Benny,
up, man? What's going on?
What's up?
You
What's
look
up, Kincade?
fantastic.
Ben, that's a great outfit.
Isn't it great?
Dude, it is great. You and I got the elf sweater on, so we're on the same page
on
here.
purpose?
No,
Only
he had
because
no
we're
idea how
not
you were
what
dressing.
You were wearing, no.
You two stopped texting each other about how you're dressing like weeks ago.
Exactly. So Benny, you got an awesome event. You called in yesterday earlier in the show and talked about it, and we want to give you the opportunity to talk about it some more because what you're doing as we're 1 week away from Christmas is an absolute beautiful thing with your event you got coming up.
Yeah, so we're doing an event called Together We Dance. It's a Christmas Jingle Ball event, and it's I want to thank Mike Barnes and the Together We Dance Foundation. They're an incredible organization. I was just on WMMR this morning.
Our friends down the hall.
And I came right over here, which is perfect. And I just wanted to give a shout-out to them. And just shout-out to everybody. We're doing an event for autism and special needs and inclusion. And we also want to give a shout-out to my family. We're doing a event tonight at Shady Brook Farms.
Okay.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing. And we're just so excited to be here. And I just want to give a shout out to St. Athrams. I want to give a shout out to Mike Barnes.
Damn right, Mike Barnes. Yeah, Mike
Barnes is the best. Did you want to say anything or no?
What about your?
Did you want to?
Guys, thanks for having us today.
No, Mike, thanks for coming in, man.
And I have to say
That
thank
is
you.
one white hat, by the way.
Go Birds.
Yeah, there you
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
But thank you for being so supportive of our community.
Of course.
You've always connected and been such a great friend to Ben and an ally of inclusion.
Absolutely.
Through sports. And obviously, Ben has a great role within the Eagles organization. I can't say enough about what the Eagles and Jeffrey Lurie have done as leaders within the autism community throughout the world. Yeah. And I think that's something, they're at the forefront. And not only are they Super Bowl champions, but they're winning off the field in ways that are extraordinary.
Ben's a good ambassador.
Yeah,
they found a pretty good ambassador.
You're the best ambassador.
Yeah,
And I want to give a shout out to Eagles Autism. They're amazing. Go Birds!
Go
There
Birds,
you go.
Benny.
There you go.
EJGLES. Eagles!
I knew
Good
that
job,
was
Ben.
coming.
Knew
Our
that
man,
was
Benergy.
coming.
Don't you love Ben's energy?
Oh, I love
There you
it.
go. Good
Keep
job,
up the
guys.
great work. Benny's doing such great
job, Ben.
things around the community. We really appreciate you guys for coming in today.
That's awesome.
If I'm ever down, I know my man Benny can boost the spirits, man.
That was awesome.
he's
How could you have a bad day with that kind of energy?
And dress like that.
Yeah.
Like if you're dressed like that,
Benny,
you
you're
gotta
the man,
be,
brother.
You gotta have a good day.
He looks fantastic. All right, coming up next, pretty random question for Andrew DeCecco. One that Nick Sirianni actually kind of talked about earlier this week. I'm curious to get his thoughts on it next because it involves habits and how the Eagles have not really been able to be in one. It's Kincade and Salciunas to check in with us for the remainder of the show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, during the winter months, you and your family probably spend a lot more time indoors. Unless you've been playing in the snow this week, like I've had to, and get frostbite all of my toes and my hands, you're probably trying to escape the snow and stay inside. You're decorating for the holidays, baking cookies, watching movies. We did the Polar Express the other day as a family. It was nice. So when you're inside, all comfy, cozy, you look around. You go, you know what? I see some easy do-it-myself projects. I could touch up those painted walls. I can clean those windows. But what about the sagging or bouncing floors? Maybe the musty odors that the spray of Febreze isn't necessarily helping you, all right? It masks it for a little bit. Bugs, pests are coming in from your crawl space because they're finding a nice, warm place to live. The experts from Groundworks are here to help you. It may seem overwhelming to you because you don't know how to fix these things. Hey, hand raised, right there with you. But rest assured, they are the experts on taking care of your problem. So check them out online, groundworks.com. The Groundworks certified field inspectors can come out, explain what's happening, identify your permanent solution, and provide you with a no-pressure quote. If you're ready to fix your crawl space issues, visit groundworks.com for your free inspection now. Groundworks, there's a reason why. They're the trusted local experts.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A rough injury report. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles, well, they had some rough news on the injury report yesterday, at least as we just look at their first true of the week. Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and Fred Johnson were all out of practice. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Some big names on there as we approach Saturday, which will be their matchup with the Commanders down in Washington. Kevin Patullo talked about trying to build on what the offense has done over the past couple of games.
We got to keep pushing through and building on what we've done throughout these previous weeks. So if you can continue to grow throughout the end of the year, who knows what can happen. So that's where we're at right now, and we just got to keep pushing the envelope to see what we continue to improve on and see where this thing goes.
We'll see if the Commanders game on Saturday is another opportunity for the offense to continue to improve. The Phillies made a bullpen move yesterday, signing righty Brad Keller to a 2-year, $22 million deal. Keller pitched to a 2.07 ERA last year out of the pen with the Chicago Cubs. Flyers back on the ice tonight in Buffalo against the Sabres. Puck drop at 7:30 p.m. You can hear that game live here on the Fanatic. Eagles weren't the only team with a rough injury report. Tyson Forrester underwent arm surgery. He's going to be out 5 months. Andrew DeCecco remains with us for the remainder of the show. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Back to the show.
All right, it's 8:55 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I have a question for DeCecco that I want to get to, but the most random things have just happened during this commercial break. I gave Andrew DeCecco a history lesson on Home Alone 1. He then gave us a DeCecco insight life story on Home Alone 3.
Which is amazing.
And speaking of 3, I am still actively watching. I follow this account on Twitter, Fast Break Hoops, because it's just all old basketball stuff.
Yeah.
I'm currently watching Kyle Korver's 2004 three-point shooting contest.
Dude, I saw that the other day.
Well, I don't know why. Like, it's great. Kyle Korver would shoot. Meanwhile, AI's in I can't even tell. It looks like a Bucks jersey, a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey, the orange cream, the creamsicle jerseys. It's awesome. Back in the 2004 days. All right, anyways. So we were talking about Home Alone 1. Andrew admired my sweater, the Son of a Nutcracker sweater from Elf, but you said I should get a Buzz, your girlfriend, woof.
Yeah.
Which is one of the better moments in that movie when he's going through Buzz's like chest of things and he finds the picture of his girlfriend. Andrew did not know. I'll ask you, Connor. Do you know who that is on the photo?
No.
The photo was actually the director's son.
Oh, in a wig?
Because they didn't want to, like, cast an ugly young girl. Because that's mean.
Yeah.
Like, that's a horrible thing to do. Like, oh, man, we have a really good scene.
That's nice by them to do
We
it
need
that
to
way.
find somebody that we can make fun of. Like, that's actually kind of horrible.
Yeah, they did the right thing.
Yeah, they did. So that's actually the director's son in a wig. I then later find out, go ahead, what did you want to do?
Yeah, Home Alone 3, I nearly auditioned for the role of the main, the character.
Was it still Kevin McAllister?
No,
No, it was a different one.
I think his name was Alex, but the actor was Alex D. Linz. I would have beat him out. I would have beat him out for that role.
You
It's
You
whatever.
could have ended up on Skid Row by now.
Yes.
Well,
Living
you're-
in a van
you're-
down by the river.
You're partially in radio and in the media, so you're one step away.
Yeah, that's actually, that's actually not bad.
You almost made it.
How cool would that have been?
I mean, also,
you know?
but mom didn't let you.
Nah, that was parents' decision.
That's
you
a
know.
good. That's
You
good.
can't be missing school for an audition or anything like that. But they had a local casting call, as I recall, right close to where I was living at the
Actually
time when I was
good-
growing up.
That's actually really good parenting.
You know what we should do during a break? We should have you. We'll get lines from Home Alone 3, and you record them, and we'll see if you would get the part.
Well, it doesn't matter now. I'm 36.
Your voice is a little bit
Might be a
different.
little out of the age range.
Having good friends who are actors for a living, they would tell you your parents were good parents.
Yeah,
they made good
I'm
decisions.
sure.
Yeah, and the movie didn't do well in the box office
No,
anyway.
that one was
No, that's 'cause you weren't in it.
horrible. That movie was so dumb.
Can you see it at some point? DeCecco in Home Alone 3 would have been like breaking down game tape or something.
see
They would
it.
have been like, "Nah, this."
Well, no,
isn't-
I could
isn't
see
playing to
you
the kids."
At 8 years
actually.
old.
I could see you actually articulating a plan to stop robbers from coming into your house.
Yeah, I wouldn't let it happen.
Knowing you've probably already thought of it.
I may have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're running too high shell here.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
never going to be able to get down the
All
field.
right. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibility. Speaking of holidays, have another one of those questions. We had technical difficulties with post-show headlines yesterday. The phone stopped recording, and it was the listener sending questions. So we want to we appreciate everybody that participated. Our first question was from Tomas. He asked, "What's the worst gift you ever got or gave?"
Oh, wow.
Do you have an answer?
Oh, man. Well, I guess when I was a kid, it would be like socks, because when you're a kid,
You don't want to open up a
you want
bag of
like
socks.
a Game Boy. I guess when I was growing up, you wanted like a Game Boy.
We
or-
always knew that whenever you got that little long square box, you always knew you were getting clothes.
Yeah.
That
You shake it. Yeah.
That
like,
sucked.
That
oh,
was
socks.
always the worst.
Yeah, and especially when it was like Pollyanna or something like that, you're like, man, I hope they know me,
Yeah,
because socks or a gift card. Actually, gift cards.
Gift
I
card
think
I'll
are-
take.
I love gift cards.
card. I don't understand. Like, people, it's a lazy gift. I can
No, I
buy
like
whatever the hell I want with it. So gift cards are cool. Before you give the second one, my random question for you. I know Sirianni was asked about earlier this week, and he's always going to say the right coach speak stuff like, we'll take every challenge and blah, blah, blah. You know how athletes are creatures of habit. How much is the weird schedule that they've had this year been a factor, even if it's 1% of the season? They've played on every day but a Tuesday and a Wednesday. They're going to play on Saturday this week. The players didn't know it was a short week when Sirianni was addressing the team after the win against the Raiders. Does that play a factor in maybe more so the mindset or even the health recovery, depending on if it's Thursday game?
Yeah, I think it does because you're so accustomed, I think, just naturally to play on Sunday or Monday, and you get in a routine. Just like you and I and John, we get in routines, and to get outside that routine for a random week, yeah, I mean, everything's sort of truncated, right? You look at your week. I didn't even realize today. I mean, like, I thought yesterday was Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
So I'm like searching for the game, and I'm like,
Right.
well, oh, it's Wednesday
Awesome.
because you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. Today's the final day of Eagles media availability, but yeah, I mean, I think just if you become a creature of habit and you get your treatments on a certain day
Right.
and all these different things, it does play into it, and it takes a lot of mental fortitude, I think, to be able to power through it and make sure that you're taking care of everything you need to take care of and going out
That
there.
reaction was telling on Sunday when he said, "All right, short week," and they're like,
and people were looking at, they're like
what?
What?
Like another one? Like it is pretty telling. All right, Johnny, give us another question. We had listeners sending questions.
Okay, got listeners sending
technical
questions. We had a little difficulty yesterday. Do you lie? Because we know that Zeke and Bum are son is Zeke, Bum is dad, and so Zeke is asking the question about his dad.
Okay.
Do you lie about not liking getting gifts? Because his dad, Bum, is a listener, and he's a liar. He calls his dad a liar because his dad, he says, his dad always says, "Oh, I don't need anything. I don't like it. I don't need anything. I don't get anything." And every year, they get him stuff, and he like gets tears in his eyes. And he gets all excited and everything like that. So, do you lie about not liking getting gifts?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
I do not.
Whenever I hear somebody go, I don't like getting gifts. I don't need any. It's such a bunch of but everyone likes getting gifts.
I don't need anything is different.
No, that's different.
I always say I don't
but
need
you like
anything.
getting gifts, though.
Yeah, so like when my wife, and I said to you yesterday, and again, technical difficulties in there, like if it's a thoughtful gift, like
she surprises you.
Like, oh wow, because I don't give ideas because I don't have any ideas. Like there's nothing that I need.
Connor and I work with you every day. We know that.
Like I don't need anything.
I don't.
right?
I mean, I'm not materialistic. I'm pretty simplistic. You
But
know,
a big date night or something that she
I
plans.
love that. I'm in. Yeah.
Dinner out.
yeah, I mean, yeah, a dinner, get a nice card. Like for me, it doesn't matter. Like I don't think of I don't live life in those terms. So I don't need a gift for someone to try and show that this is we were thinking of you in this way. That's
Right.
That's fine. Just give me a phone call, a text message, and we're good.
Yeah. Always appreciate that. All right, what else we got, Johnny? Give us another one.
I would tell you that a girlfriend, Nolan on Instagram, has a girlfriend of less than 6 months. They're both 23. Both graduated college in May of 24.
Okay.
It's his first Christmas with this girl. And he was trying to get some gift-giving tips of how to play it.
Socks.
First Christmas, but not wanting to be too much, not wanting to be too little. And Andrew and I were both trying to give him a little bit of advice. I was just saying is that, and Andrew brought up the idea.
I have a life hack, and I still use this hack to this day, and I've been married for 6 years.
Let's hear it.
You book something for like February around Valentine's Day.
Well, that's it.
And you give the gift on Christmas. You're taking out two birds with one stone.
See, that's like a cheat code, but it's a good cheat code.
But I was thinking ahead of this other very romantic day, even though it's a fake day. It's a romantic day. I was thinking about you. Here's the gift, and it's something to look forward to for 2 months. Now that I've been married for 6 years, I give my wife gifts on Christmas that she can use that day.
No. You see, don't.
But this is they just start dating.
Thing is, don't lose. Now, I would say to you, you took it to a point, and then I think you sort of shied away from it there. I'm going on 24 years of marriage. Don't lose that life hack.
Oh no,
that's a great don't lose that life hack, because to me, I can tell you I got a few things that for
Same.
Christmas that are for 2026 that are like, these are things I have planned that I looked ahead, that here's what we're going to do.
Like,
Here's what we've got.
a
I
nice,
think
nice
that those
resort,
things
the
are always bigger.
Poconos.
Yeah,
is nice. A quiet weekend.
A one-day getaway. It doesn't have to be a 10-day thing.
A spa day.
Nice.
A spa day always works.
Spa day is good. You're
trying to spoil
you're working
somebody,
hard, babe. Like let me get you.
How
the
about
spa
the the martini glass hot tub up in the Poconos.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is, whatever you're into.
The one thing you just got.
Those used to be so big in the 80s.
Oh, trust me.
Those were the biggest.
I think I saw that in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Those were the biggest things in the 80s.
They still pop up on Google if you look up
Do they
spas
really?
near me, and it's the heart-shaped.
Like martini glass.
Uh-huh.
They were in the 80s.
Remember Dumb and Dumber?
Yes,
Remember they were
yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. All right. Connor, give us a text message on actual, football stuff that we've been talking about today.
All right, so we have a check-in here on where the Philadelphia Eagles are at right now, and the narrative is growing on the offensive improvement. So this texter just checks in, no name on this one, but they want to know what specifically has been the biggest change that the Eagles have made over the past couple of weeks that seems to have people excited.
I would say some under center looks because it's led to so many other things. I mentioned variance in the run game. You're seeing more advanced route concepts. It puts defenses in a unique bind because they're not able to remain in their base alignment. And I think for a quarterback, you're able to get a full read off of what the defense is doing, get a better idea, and counter that. And so I think it's not a fail-safe method, but I think it's something that you can look at and say, okay, tangibly, this is something that they've implemented that I think has helped the offense in a number of different ways. And you look at the intermediate passing game. That's been largely absent from this offense, and it unlocks a lot of other things if you're able to dial that part in. When you're willing to throw inside the numbers and dial that up as a play caller.
All right, so coming up next, I have a question off of that. It's something that I think they've been reluctant to do, and maybe we're starting to see more of it recently. So I'll ask you that coming up next. But also, I know you were on the air. Were you on the air when the Phillies signed Garcia?
No. I think it might have been the day after.
Okay, because I know you have your thoughts on the signing of Garcia. But they also made the nice move for Brad Keller yesterday as well. We'll get your reactions on that coming up next. It is Kincade and Salciunas on this Thursday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
It is all about live betting on the BetPark Sportsbook app. You will absolutely love it. Whether you're betting the bowl games, boy, you got Alabama and Oklahoma coming up tomorrow night. That's going to be fun as the college football playoff gets underway. Plus, we got the Birds on Saturday early, 5 o'clock early. The BetPark's online casino and sportsbook app lets you live bet sporting events, which is always fun. I love being able to get into those. Now, tonight, we have Seahawks-Rams. Are you kidding me? All these great things. Now, let's say you're at a doctor's appointment. You're trying to pass some time. You can play blackjack, craps, roulette, hundreds of online slot games, all your favorite sports, all online on one device with the BetParks app. It's so much fun. Join me on the app right now. New users get up to $1,000 in casino bonus back if you're going to be down in the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details for you. So whether your team scores or not, there's always other ways to win with individual player performance bets and more. The BetParks online casino and sportsbook app, you are going to love it. Now, you got to be in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Michigan. But get on board. It's a great time to do it. With college football playoff and the big pro football playoffs coming, hey, if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
John Mark.
Middays.com.
The final hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right, Andrew Checo's with us for the remainder of the show, bouncing around some Eagles topics, throwing them at his way. I'm curious. So you were mentioning the intermediate passing game, which we all see it. It's there, and it's not being used enough. And Goddard had a tremendous game against the Raiders, albeit the Raiders, but he's had a very, very good season. 9 touchdowns, career high for him. I know that they want to run the football. Is there? We talked about this probably a month ago. Is there still time for the pass to set up the run instead of vice versa? Because that's what they want to do. They want to run the ball to set up the pass. But if running the football is not working, can they do the reverse?
I don't think so.
I'm not saying 40 times.
Right. No. I don't think that they can because that's not what they're equipped to do. I should also mention that for the Raiders game, there was a lot more 13 personnel than they have all season. So for those, that's 3 tight ends. And they had 18 snaps in which they were in 13 personnel, 4 of which came on the first drive. They were in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 14 snaps in that game. So I look at that and say they're trying to find a way to springboard this running game. And even if that means deviating from their traditional personnel groupings and things like that. So I just believe that's what they're going to continue to try to harp on.
But if it doesn't get going, which it hasn't, like all year, it hasn't, except for a couple of moments, as you mentioned, right? There's been a couple of big runs for Saquon. They put it up in the broadcast. I forget exactly what the numbers was, but it was how many 20-yard runs he had last year versus this year. And it's not even close, the differences. I get it. He was going for Eric Dickerson's record. Of course that's going to be the case. But if they keep on trying to force, let's get the ground game going, we only have 3 weeks left. So if we're trying everything, shouldn't that also be a part of the let's try this factor? Like, let's maybe not do 13 personnel just to hopefully get the ground game going a little bit?
Yeah, I think you might see more of a balance than you traditionally would had the running game been going. And there are certain elements to the passing game that I think that they can continue to lean into. Dallas Goedert needs to be a prominent piece. They can't really afford to go away from him because of the matchups and the mismatches, I should say, that he presents, especially in the red zone. But even in the Chargers game, he was able to shake free. And you look at the rapport that Jalen Hurts has with Dallas Goedert. Not saying he doesn't have that with A.J. or Devontae, because he certainly does. But with Dallas Goedert, that's something that I made note of in training camp. Mm-hmm. He probably caught more passes from Jalen Hurts than any of the other players. Some of that had to do with them just being injured in the summer. But I think that's something that they need to continue to do and work that into the mix. But I would expect to see more of a balance, more so that I would see them tip one way or the other. If the running game's not going, I don't think they're going to suddenly become a team that drops back 35 times.
If he's healthy all year, which he's been pretty much, he's not going to have a problem getting a multi-year deal this offseason.
He absolutely deserves it.
And he's going to get it. And so just among all the tough decisions that Howie's going to have to make.
Yeah. And
Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Reed Blankenship. I mean, there's so many decisions.
By the way, we've also seen, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Grant Calcaterra, we all know he can't block. That's nothing new. Could you imagine if the ground game's struggling now with Goddard on the field? Could you imagine if they did go into the season with Calcaterra as their number 1 tight end?
Well, they were never going to do that.
Yeah, I don't think that would ever be on the table.
They didn't draft anyone.
I know, but they weren't going to.
Who was the guy from the Raiders they traded for?
Harrison Bryant.
Yeah, Harrison Bryant.
Right.
Was that going to be the answer for them at tight end 1? If Goddard didn't, let's say a team did pick him up. What are we talking about here? Because that didn't happen until after the draft, right? His restructure.
That might have been May. Yeah.
It might have been. No, it was definitely after the draft.
What would they have done? Like trade for Jonnu Smith? Like would they have been the team?
Michael Mayer, maybe.
Yeah, they would have found something like that.
But yes, I mean,
it wouldn't have been Dallas Goedert.
No, it wouldn't have been.
I know that you guys haven't been of this belief, but I think that there's pockets of those who watch the Eagles going into the season that maybe took Dallas Goedert for granted.
Well, I definitely took him more. Well, no, I took him more for granted than he did.
Borderline devastating.
Well, yeah, you definitely didn't.
I almost cried.
But the thing is, and mine was about the health. Is that I can't go, commit a multi-year big money deal to a guy that I'm going to probably miss for 6 games. That was my thing.
Sure,
I'm going to be, and what has he done this year? He stayed healthy.
Right. Well, that's the big part of it. But I think you're seeing that when properly utilized, coupled with optimal health, he's
amazing.
He's an elite player at that position.
He has been fantastic.
Yeah, 9 touchdowns.
And in some big games for the Eagles, he's had big games.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
in his career.
Well, even you go back to Super Bowl 57.
Oh, it was great.
He was incredible in that game.
Packers and Rams games last year.
Packers and Rams, he was great.
He was the best player on offense for him in both those games.
It was awesome.
All right, what did you make of Adolis Garcia? Another guy that strikes out a lot, doesn't like to walk, but is a better defender than Nick Castellanos. And then Brad Keller as well. Go start with Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia. I look at that and I say, okay, what's the plan from there? Like, Garcia end.
And then
it feels like Super Troopers
there
here.
There is no end.
I feel like Super Troopers. Loitering end. That sounds like that's going to be, if you're taking Dave Dombrowski, what he's saying at face value, that is going to be the outfield. The complexion that you're going to see is Garcia, Marsh. They mentioned Otto Kemp. He mentioned.
Oh my gosh.
Weston
Wilson.
Well, yeah, Crawford. Weston Wilson.
Weston Wilson
wow.
being around on this team.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Johan Rojas was another name.
Yeah, I heard. Like, what do we still need to learn about Johan Rojas?
There's
right?
nothing left to learn.
Guys, what you need to know is there's too many big money contracts, so they got to play bargain basement. They got to go bargain basement. That's why you're talking about those names.
But it's a cost-effective measure that when you look at their shortcomings over the past really 3 years, you have to be able to pony up and take some drastic measures, if for nothing else than for your fan base, because the fan base has been behind this team, and there hasn't been a lot of reason for optimism in October. Red October has been an abbreviated Red October the past couple of years,
barely been.
And you can't sell the fan base on this outfield. Otto Kemp, I mean, they seem hell bent on him.
I don't get it.
Turning the corner.
I know I'm not a baseball scout. What am I missing? Connor, you're Mr. Locked On Phillies podcast. You tried to tell me it popped last year. Like, who is Otto Kemp? What do they actually think Otto Kemp is?
They think he has a positive offensive profile. The kneecap injury that he played through might have knocked that down a little bit.
All right, fine. Hold on. What do you think Otto Kemp is? Because they're going to tell you that Otto Kemp is Babe Ruth.
I think at max he's a 250, 20 home run hitter. And that's if he played regularly, which he's not going to in a platoon.
He's a quad A guy. He's
a fringe major league player.
Yeah.
And that's hardly a slight. It's based off of profile and his projection.
But the way they talk about him,
right.
Oh, he's a World Series player.
Listen, all I got to tell you is, Dork Boy, for later conversations that we're going to have, dug up just in the past 12 months quotes from the Phillies on Griff McGarry and Mick Abel.
Oh, yeah.
And the Phillies will tell. What I will tell you is, don't listen to the BS about these prospects and what they think of them, because they tell you one thing and you know they don't mean them. They don't mean them.
And by the way, we understand that the Phillies are high on Justin Crawford, but they're putting an awful lot of eggs in that basket. What happens if it doesn't pan out? He's a ground ball hitter, right? You could argue that he's probably better suited to play left field, and he's going to be a integral piece to their outfield based on the way that it's currently constructed.
By the way, I'm fine with him being a ground ball hitter and an on-base guy if you didn't have 5 of those already on the team.
Well, that's the other issue.
Like, there's no pop other than Schwarber, and hopefully Harper returns to somewhat of – I'm not asking him to be MVP anymore. I just need him to be somewhat of Bryce Harper again.
So it is absolutely maddening, guys, that it's essentially running it back. You've swapped out.
Change names.
But, yeah, you just changed the names. The ability.
Which I do think some of that is important. Like, I do think you need to shake things up. But it's like the same player. Other than the defense.
I'll tell you, they're not having a good offseason.
All right, coming up next.
PR-wise.
Question for you all. How many of you are looking ahead with the Eagles? And I'm not talking about the playoffs. It is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Keeping momentum going. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Eagles are trying to do. Is they're just a couple of days away from their Saturday matchup in Washington with the Commanders. And Jalen Hurts met with the media yesterday. He talked about the changes made in the win over the Raiders, building on that, and the run game.
Just think you've seen us be better at complementing some of the things we've been doing for the run game and being able to establish the run game. Kind of some of those changes have been to try and get the run game going a bit, and a byproduct has been able to throw it the way we have.
We'll see if they can do that again on Saturday against Washington. The injury report not great yesterday for the Birds. Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and Fred Johnson were all out of practice. We'll keep an eye on their statuses as we approach Saturday. Phillies made a bullpen move yesterday. They went out and signed righty Brad Keller, formerly of the Cubs, to a 2-year, $22 million deal. The hard-throwing righty pitched to a 2.07 ERA last year out of the pen in Chicago. Flyers are back on the ice tonight in Buffalo against the Sabres. Puck drop at 7:30 p.m. You can hear that game live right here on The Fanatic. Unfortunately, bad news on Tyson Forster, who underwent arm surgery. He's going to be out 5 months. Andrew DeCecco remains with us for the remainder of the show. This update is brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
.com.
928 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic. I almost got assaulted by Johnny Marks during the commercial break because I was talking poorly of his boy.
I was sitting here by the doorway. You were the guy.
You had me. Yeah. I appreciate you. I man. I was talking about Otto Kemp not being
that was not going over well.
Not being Brooks Robinson.
Not being Brooks Robinson.
He's a fine player.
No, he's not a fine player. He's not.
Well, the Phillies will tell you that he is. I respect his grit.
Look, this is a personal issue of mine, right? I am somebody that if somebody tells me something is so great, I almost already hate it. I'm just I hate that already. So I hear Dave Dombrowski trying to tell me that he's a World Series player, and I'm like, stop.
Stop.
I know that I've not followed his minor league journey as much as maybe Dave Dombrowski has, but if his journey was so great, why did it take till he turned 26 to come up with the big league?
Late bloomer.
All right. That's what I am.
Isn't he 26?
He's 26.
He's 26, right?
Yeah, he'll turn 27 during the season.
There's a reason why guys don't get to the majors.
Well,
there's a reason why.
I look at it like this. It has less to do with Otto Kemp more than it does looking at the way that the outfield looks right now and then trying to sell the fan base on that.
Yeah, this is fine.
With players that are all complementary pieces, sans, Garcia. And we have to learn about someone like a Justin Crawford. He's never had a cup of coffee at the major league level.
No, because there's too many good players to replace with, like Max Kepler. He was swinging a hot bat.
Yeah, but for me, it just comes across as arrogance.
It's arrogant.
To be able to say that this is what we're doing, even though our Red October ended October 10th.
Yeah. Well, Red October now is pushing into September almost.
Yeah, I mean, I get offended. I get offended sometimes listening to Dave Dombrowski speak. All right, are you looking ahead to Buffalo at all? I understand they still got to play. They got to play Saturday against the Commanders, but how many of us are saying, all right, the Raiders game, it was the Raiders. If they look good again back-to-back weeks against the Commanders, they deserve applause for that. Johnny and I talked about that earlier in the week. If they look good Saturday, Monday morning, we should come in here going, all right, we've seen back-to-back weeks. But how many of us are going, yeah, but that Buffalo game is going to be the one that I really take information from.
And by the way, we should also, before I get into that, we should also look at the last three games and what do those quarterbacks have in common in Marcus Mariota and Josh Allen. They can run.
Yes.
And when this Eagles defense has had some hiccups, it's been with design quarterback runs.
Sure.
Whether that was Jackson Dart, Justin Herbert most recently, that offense couldn't move the football, but Justin Herbert at the end of that game was able to put the defense in conflict with that. So I think this would be a really good test. But I'm not necessarily looking forward to the Bills just yet. I'm looking at this game and trying to see what this team will be able to do from an offensive standpoint in terms of reverting back to some of their methods that have been successful over the past 2 weeks. And I want to see if that's if they sort of mirror that this week and if they can kind of build off of that, because I don't have so many questions about the defense as much as I do about the offense. And that's kind of what I'm looking for here.
And honestly, if the Bears win on Saturday night, if the Eagles win and then the Bears win on Saturday night, you're probably not getting the 2 seed.
But they're not going to sit players, would they?
No, but I mean, so I really don't care that much about the Buffalo game.
No, it's just the eye test game. That's like the
but I mean, I'm not approaching that Buffalo game where I'm playing all out to win it. Like
right,
I'm not,
right.
I'm not pushing guys back from injury or doing anything like that.
Oh no!
If the weather's a little off.
Oh yeah, I've been saying keep
I might not play certain players.
Keep laying off as much as you possibly can.
Yeah,
he's a guy that can walk on the field. He'd be fine.
What if it's
you see Hard Knocks? He's working hard, man. He looks to be in great shape.
February if it's December 28th, that Sunday, and a snowstorm is hitting Buffalo. I am not the offensive lineman. I don't want them out there.
No,
I don't want them skating around. I'd rather have them healthy on January 12th for the first wild card game at the Link.
Yeah,
at home. I don't care about the Buffalo game. It means nothing now because you blew a stupid game against the Bears.
Right.
Or the Charger game.
Had it been earlier in the season and you asked me this question, I would say, yeah, that's going to be a fascinating matchup. But it sort of loses its allure based off of the different things that have happened.
If won one of those games, all this things be on the table.
Well, we have a monstrous game tonight. Thursday night football between the Seahawks and the Rams. And joining us now on the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. Now, every day in the sports gambling business is a big day as well. But we have a monster game tonight.
And it is monstrous.
That could really decide, the NFC West between the Seahawks and the Rams. So joining us now from GBIWins.com, he's been in the handicapping business for over 40 years, and he's been killing it for over 40 years. You could call the free record hotline at 1-800-885-2525. That's 1-800-885-2525. From GBIWins.com, our man Michael Westwood joins us. Michael, good morning.
Andrew, Johnny, you're messing up my tea time, by the way. I'm in Florida right now.
Oh, you
at a meeting,
that must be nice.
Where are you playing today?
You guys are messing me up with this 9:30 meeting, but for you guys, I'm all right with that. I stepped aside a little bit. But listen, like you said, tremendous implications going on with this game tonight. 2-11 and 3 teams going at each other tonight, Seattle and the Rams. You know what? Week 16 is upon us. It's time for all of your listeners to wake up and call my free recorded hotline. There's no sales pitches. There's no hype. You can call my hotline. You'll get tonight's game absolutely free. And once again, all you have to do is dial 1-800-885-2525. Again, that's 1-800-885-2525. It's on my recorded hotline. Get my information tonight absolutely free. Stop paying the books. Let me do the work for you. 42 years, like these guys say. 42 years in the sports handicapping world. I know how to beat the bookmakers on any given game day. Tonight's information is absolutely rock solid. Do not flip a coin on your own, okay? Let me do the work for you. Again, it's on my free recorded hotline. The number, once again, is 1-800-885-2525. Again, 1-800-885-2525. Call that number now.
So Michael, I got to ask you, because this is a big game, like from a fan standpoint, too, not just from a betting standpoint, as we're getting closer to the end of the regular season. Like, when you go into a game like tonight, how much you're trying to make money, so your heart's not really into it, but from an actual football standpoint, but how much joy do you get out of betting a game that you know a ton of eyes will be on tonight?
Well, that's a great question. You know what? We don't just give out games to give out games. We give out games to win, okay? And, you guys know that, and I've been saying this all week, all season long, that the public has been getting slammed all year long. It's 16 weeks of misery for the public. The bookmakers have been making a ton of money. So to answer your question, information makes people money. And I've been doing this for so long that I know the ins and outs on what's going on. Tonight's game is a mortal lock. Again, it's a game that I'm giving out for free to the whole world. Why am I doing that? Because I'm hoping that after I win the game, your listeners will sign up with us tomorrow, because you guys got to understand, this is the best time of year. It's bowl season.
Oh, yeah.
Bowl season, all right? Last year in the bowls, and you know this, I was 27-4.
Amazing.
All right, so the bottom line is this. If you contact my free recorded hotline right now at 1-800-885-2525, again, I always repeat it twice, 1-800-885-2525, you're going to get my winner tonight, Seattle playing the Rams. It's free. It's on my free recorded hotline. And again, get involved with us tomorrow. Get the bowl games. Make money, and let's make money together.
Sounds perfect. Yeah, it's going to be a big one. And tonight we'll be watching, and hit them straight.
You got it, brother. I'll let you know how I do.
You're the man. Yeah, shoot me a text, and we'll announce it to the world. Michael, we appreciate it, man. 1-800-885-2525, GBIWins.com. You've been winning all season long, and we expect more of that tonight. Thanks, brother. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you, man.
Talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
There he is, Michael Westwood on the Comcast Business Hotline. Now, coming up next, I'm curious how Andrew DeCecco feels about Seahawks-Rams. Want to get your thoughts on tonight's game, what it means for the NFC. Matchups that you're going to be watching closest during this Eagles game Saturday. And somebody on our YouTube chat just pointed something out to me. Jason, there's an ESPN article that did the projections for the remainder of the season. I hate the computers at ESPN. If I go to Bristol again, I will rip out the cords. That might be why they haven't invited me back up there since. If this scenario happens, we're going to be losing our minds. I'll tell you what next. It's Kincade Salciunas with us. Andrew's checking with us, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Whether you're at the job site,
It is 9:41 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. If this is how the season plays out, my God, I don't even want to know what the radio reaction will be, the social media reaction will be. I'll tell you how the ESPN computer system plays out the rest of the season momentarily. But tonight we have a big game, man. Thursday night football, Rams, Seahawks. They are both 11-3 on the season. The Rams have the first head-to-head matchup they won earlier this year, and it was a tough one. It was a tight game. Yeah. And now this time it's in Seattle tonight, right? In Seattle. Seahawks are 1.5-point favorites. So what do you make of this game, these two teams going up against each other? And in terms of, we always have to kind of think Eagles. If you're an Eagles fan, who are you rooting for tonight?
Probably Seattle. Devontae Adams is banged up, right? He's not playing.
He's listed as doubtful for tonight.
Wow, and that's a rare designation. Usually you don't see the doubtful designation much
Thursday
at
night
all.
doesn't help.
Yeah, but I look at it and I look at it's in Seattle. It's going to be a raucous environment. I like the way the Seahawks defense is playing. They flow the football with aggressiveness and urgency. And you have a quarterback in Matthew Stafford who doesn't move around all that well. Not that Sam Darnold does either. But I just think that this game being in Seattle favors the Seahawks. They're playing really good football right now. So are the Rams. It's pretty even. This is a game that you could look at over the course of the season and say it carries arguably some of the most intrigue that you're going to find across any of the weeks.
We're lucky it's the only game. Like
It's the only game.
I love that it's not at the same time as another game.
It's
like it's
awesome,
Thursday
yeah.
night football.
And Rams too. Rams win this, the 1 seed's over because they will have swept the Seahawks.
Right.
So they'll have that pretty much locked down because the Rams finish out at the Falcons, home to the Cardinals.
Yeah, and
So
because
that'll be
the Rams won the previous matchup, I think Seattle's going to look to even the score here. They're going to have a little bit more energy and be up for this one, and I think it's going to be a really, really
So you're going
fun
Seattle
football.
tonight.
I'm going Seattle.
I'm going Seattle tonight also. The
I'm
boys
going
are both
Rams.
going Rams.
I'm going with the
I think short week, I don't like the Rams traveling there. And the way Seattle played Sunday, that Colts game, I think they were looking ahead to the Rams. I think they were just they sleptwalked through that game with the Colts and were barely lucky to survive.
Could be. You know what team doesn't do that?
Yeah.
The Eagles.
Eagles don't. No, they don't tend to.
By the way, I love Jared Verse, tremendous player. But he was asked about this upcoming game. He's like, "That's the team I hate the most, Seattle." I go, "Weren't you like?
Didn't he say the Eagles?
Weren't the Eagles your least favorite team? Then they beat you again."
He's doing like the heel turn, whatever it is.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's the Seahawks because they're in your division.
I mean, if you want, to me, the Rams being the 1 seed is actually the best scenario to me because I don't want to play Seattle in Seattle at any time.
Sure.
That would be
getting Seattle out of the chance to be the 1 seed to me is the best scenario. So have the Rams be the 1 seed is the best thing going. And also, too, then Seattle's the 5 seed. They can knock off the 4 seed. And then if Seattle did have to play the Eagles, they play them in Philly.
Yeah.
I feel
there you
much
go.
better about that.
There you go.
All right. Jason in our YouTube chat wrote or put in the comments section that ESPN had an article this morning where they simulated the remainder of the season.
Okay.
Using the ESPN Football Power Index, which I've been at war with since before my time at ESPN. Like this dates back.
Terrible.
This dates back to me and Ant like working together. Like I've always had this war with the Football Power
It's
Index.
bad.
So they did all their number crunching on how each team's season will end. The Eagles will lose their next 2 games, 26-24 this weekend against the Commanders. But what makes the Bills one even worse, complete beatdown,
How bad?
35-7.
No way.
If the Eagles only score 7 points against that defense,
No way.
dude, I will be unbearable that Monday morning at 6:00. They then have them winning against the Commanders week 18, 42-21. And the way again, they did all the teams, so it's not just the Eagles. They had the playoff matchups in the NFC where it would be Bears-Packers. So Bears finishes the 2 seed, Packers finishes the 7 seed. They have the Bucks winning the division and the Seahawks being the wild card team. So the Rams get the 1 seed. They have Eagles-Niners in the wild card round of the playoffs.
That's what I think I think it is going to be Eagles-Niners.
So do I. And I think that's a favorable draw for the Eagles.
Not
I like it
according to the ESPN
of course
Football Power Index. They have the Eagles losing to the 49ers 34-24.
What?
I can't see a team scoring 34 points against them.
They're coming in here. The
I
49ers
can't
are going to
see
come in
it.
here and score 34. Bull puppy.
As down as I am, I do not see that scenario playing out.
That's ridiculous. That's
But
absolutely.
like they don't give like a analysis or logic.
No, it just
it's a
says
computer.
the
Oh, it's a
Eagles'
computer.
tumultuous season ends 34-24 defeat to the hand of the Niners. That's all they have.
That's just absolutely ridiculous.
That's them flipping a coin.
Yeah, pretty much. But if that were to happen, I'd be afraid to hear what's being said about the Eagles. It's already been a wild ride this year.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
Oh my gosh. There would be. Oh no. It would
If
be.
they scored 7 points against that Buffalo,
No, they're not scoring. Who has Buffalo held to 7? Honestly,
I don't
come
think-
on.
I don't think
no, I
anybody-
can do. I
yeah.
can do it right here. I can do it.
My
pull it up for
read
you.
on that whole thing is drastically
Steelers.
different. It's a stark contrast to what the computer generated.
They held the Steelers They held Cincinnati to 34, New England to 31, Steelers to 7.
You're saying they held them to
Steelers to 7
Held them to
without
31.
Steelers to 7 without Aaron Rodgers, right? That was the game. Was that without Aaron?
Oh yeah, that was with Mason Rudolph.
They held Houston. They lost to Houston. Gave up 23. They gave up 32 to Tampa. Stop. Just stop with the stupidity.
Hey, they held the Panthers to 9.
That's stupidity. I mean, my gosh,
it was crazy, man.
It's unbelievable.
Now I see why you were pulling your hair out over
That's
over.
so
looking
No,
at it.
I'm at war with the football power.
It's so
index.
dumb.
It's it's been ongoing for years.
Absolutely.
All right. What are the matchups that you will be keeping your closest eye on Saturday between the Eagles and Commanders? And I'm guessing one of them, as you kind of hinted at earlier, is how they stop Mariota if he starts escaping.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah, that's actually first and foremost, because when the Eagles defense has had their challenges, if you will, and there haven't been many, it's been with the quarterback runs. And so I think this is going to be a really good test to see if they've learned from previous matchups against Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, who I believe maybe had 60 or more yards in that game, if I'm remembering that correctly, and Jackson Dart also performed well there too. So I look at that and I say, what changes are they going to be able to make in that area? And they get to face Mariota twice over the next couple weeks here.
And Josh Allen, who escapes the pocket
That's
too.
100% right. And then I'm looking at Von Miller versus Fred Johnson. Fred Johnson was listed as he didn't practice yesterday with an ankle. We'll be keeping eyes open to see his practice status today. But
that was last week too, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah,
he missed
this
the
is sort of that part in the season. You guys know this, that there's a lot of maintenance that plays into it, with so much at stake down the line here. But I'm expecting Fred to play. We'll have to wait and see. But Fred Johnson versus Von Miller is something that I'll be keeping an eye on. Guys, they're down. They don't have a lot there on defense. They're really banged up, and I just really don't see a path for them to be able to slow this Eagles offense down, much like the Raiders game, although their defense is just marginally better. But the Eagles should be able to attack the corners in this game. Mike Sainristil out of Michigan is a corner who I really like, but they're banged up across the board there aside from that, and this should be a game where they get things dialed up for A.J. and Devontae, Dallas Goedert. You like that matchup on Frankie Louvu, the linebacker who is sort of villainized here in Philadelphia.
I love him as a player, I'll be honest.
Do you?
Yeah, I love him as a player.
And then Quan Martin is a safety who they have, who I like a little bit. He was a safety at Illinois alongside Sidney Brown. But apart from that, they don't have a lot. Their offensive line is actually not that bad. They have a guy who they really like in Chris Paul. He's their right guard. Their left guard, Sam Cosmi. Biada's the center, is pretty solid. They have Laramie Tunsil. We'll have to wait and see if he plays. So I think that'll be a good test, a good barometer, if you will, to see where the Eagles' defensive line is, if they're able to kind of thrive against that after feasting, as they should, against teams like the Chargers and the Raiders, who had really porous offensive line.
The voice of the Commanders will join us tomorrow morning at 8:25, Bram Weinstein, so we'll have a chance to talk to him.
And I've been told that they're, from a special teams standpoint, their coverage units are really good. So I have it covered across the board. I had a nice chat with Britt Covey yesterday as well.
Well, remember they did the trick play in the NFC title game, the pass. The longest pass completion was from their punter.
From the punter, yeah, that's right.
So I love that. I had to bring that up, and I brought that up on the Commanders podcast with their play-by-play guy the other day, and he said, remind me why I have you on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good work by you.
There you
Remind me. I said, why'd you guys get old in the postseason? In the offseason?
Yeah, that was something that I think was probably overlooked by some, myself included. I just thought that they were going to be able to. They weren't ready last year, clearly, to make that step, but I thought this would be a year that they didn't necessarily challenge the Eagles, but they were going to make some headway and get back in the postseason. That certainly is not happening.
Well, Commander Bill this afternoon at 2 o'clock on Unfiltered.
No, remember, it's because Jaden Daniels got hurt. Ignore the record when he played.
Well, they're 2-6 with Jaden Daniels.
What's your prediction for Saturday?
I like the Eagles in this one.
Did you get a hotel?
What's that?
Did you get a hotel?
I'm actually not making the trip for this one.
Oh, you're not making the trip?
I'm not making the trip. So I think I have the Eagles winning this one. We'll say 27-17.
Okay.
27-17 can seem like a tight score. Are we sweating at all?
No.
Okay.
I just think Mariota and his ability to elude the pocket and do some of those things, he's kind of an annoying player to defend, and he might have, a player or two that he's able to capitalize on.
He's quit on 2 teams already. He may quit on this one, too, in the middle of the game.
Tell us about life-saving cancer research, please, Johnny.
FT Young Heating and Air Conditioning made a donation to the AACR. You can, too. Go to 975fanatic.com/AACR, the American Association for Cancer Research, because cancer research may just end up saving your life.
All right, everybody have a great rest of your day. We're back at it tomorrow on a Football Friday, but there's only one way for us to hand things off to Middays with Marks during this holiday season.
2 birthday boys tomorrow, too.
Marksy
and Andrew.
This is how you hand things off.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Now on 97.5.